Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I am your tarot reader Stephanie, and today's reading is a yes/no in-depth question that we are going to answer here. So usually when I do my yes/no, I prefer them to be short and sweet. They're typically like under 5 minutes, and I have done a few of those previously. I will link them in the description below, but today I decided to go a little bit more deeper into this. So these are going to be at least, I think they were all at least 15 minutes or more. Yes/no questions that are going to reveal not just things about your question, yourself, and the situation at hand, but also anything you can do in case you got the answer you didn't want. So we have 7 piles here for you today. Pile 1, we have a smoky quartz. Pile 2, we have blue apatite. Pile 3, we have lepidolite. Pile 4, we have rose quartz. Pile 5, we have charoite. Pile 6, we have fluorite. And pile 7, we have carnelian. So take a few deep breaths, think of your question. Feel free to choose as many piles as you need for however many questions you may have, and I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the smoky quartz, then we have your yes/no reading here for you. And I typically do the yes or no readings a little bit more short form. I have a playlist hopefully linked down below where I do like 5-minute yes/no readings. You can easily take this reading that same way, or you can go into the in-depth version. So I'm going to make these a little bit longer than I usually make them, but this is essentially a yes/no reading. And we're going to look at your question. We're going to answer it first, yes, no, and then we're going to go into the cards to see a little bit more why it's a yes or no, or what you need to understand about the question you are asking. So this is very freeform. I'm still not sure how many piles I'm going to do. I'm still not sure how I'm doing this. Hopefully you went to the intro and I clarified things a little bit because I'm filming the piles first and then we're doing the intro. But let's go ahead and get your cards. So we have number 16. I am perceptive. You have an inquisitive mind that allows you to uncover important truths. You have a special ability to read into other people's feelings. A wisdom seeker, and your angels ask to share your knowledge for the benefit of others. I am perceptive. So you're very perceptive, pile 1. I feel like you may not even really need to come into these kinds of tarot readings. I feel like you only come to these, one, for confirmation. Maybe you feel like the download or the gut answer you are getting doesn't really make sense. So you come into these readings to get some sort of confirmation or verification that this is what is happening. You're very intuitive. So chances are you already understand the situation at hand. You have a good understanding of what you are asking about. We also have the clover, which is luck. Some of you could have like very strong Jupiter in your chart, or you could just be very lucky, or you could also be very spiritual. But let's go ahead and get your answer. So that's a little vibe check on the question and yourself, but the answer itself. We have step back and reevaluate. Interesting, because I did say that you have a good grasp of this. And with step back and reevaluate, I'm going to get another card. Chill out. So you're getting into your overthinking mode is what I'm hearing, pile 1. All right, I made it a little brighter just because I feel like we need more light and more clarity. But you're getting into your overthinking energy right now, pile 1. And this is very common amongst people who are intuitive. I mean, there's several types of intuitive people. There's the kind that don't really have anything in their mind. They keep it blank, they keep it open, and they bring in a lot of intuition. Some people are like that. And then there's the overthinkers. I feel like we're one and the same. We just operate at different levels. I actually had this download not too long ago, a few days ago, because I'm definitely in the overthinking energy, much with you, pile 1. So whenever you have a lot of thoughts going through your head, this is just you downloading like several pages, volumes worth of knowledge, worth of, like, let's say you were going into the Akashic records, you're literally going through everything. Like, you take in a lot of information. This is how your intuition works. And what's going on right now, the reason we can't really get a yes or no is that you're not taking enough time to decompress, let's put it that way. So I'm hearing that a lot of you need to do some deep breathing exercises or do something more meditative, something to calm the soul, something to calm the mind, whatever it is that you need to calm, attend to it. Because part of the reason that you're not typically getting the answers from your intuition that you usually get is because you're not in the right frame of mind, to put it very simply. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with you. Maybe you're not even going through anything too anxious, but it's like the more I tap into this energy, the more antsy I get, the more anxious I get. So some of you could really benefit from going for a walk or writing things out, because with the current state you're in, you can't really get a yes or no, especially if, for example, you're very worried about something or if you're very emotional about it. And I do actually get this from some of my clients. I will ask them to, take a deep breath or to do something so that when I tap into their energy, it's nowhere near as chaotic, because even other readers will not be able to give you a proper reading until you reach this state of balance. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards though. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong here. We're still going to go into the tarot and see what the answer to your question is. This is just a message from spirit, a little aside, if you will, that you need to take a few deep breaths about this. We have the now. Yeah, you have to be in the present moment. The one way that we are best to channel, the best way we can channel divine intuition is by being in the present moment, being in the now. Take note of your body. Close your eyes and ask yourself, is every part of your body fine? Bring light or bring a breath of fresh air into each part of the body. Some of you could benefit from yoga. We have your past supports your future. So we are talking about something from the past, that's for sure, that you are kind of wondering if it'll go into the future. Let's get... I'm hearing something doesn't have to follow you if you don't want it to follow you. Something doesn't have to follow you if you don't want it to follow you. If you do not consent, let's say your energy is like a plane, like an airplane or a train, something that transports something from one place to another. You do not have to give that very thing that you fear access to board your energy. You do not have to give your fear access to board your energy. So therefore you deny it, in whatever which way, and you leave it there in the past, or you leave it behind. Leave it where it's meant to stay, because it's not meant to follow you. Some of you carry your worries, your fears, kind of like some people carry their baggage without checking it. It's like, do we really need to take all of that with us? And the truth is, it's no. Let's get another card. We have Serpent transformation. So you're about to go through some sort of transformation. Maybe you're even asking about something that is going to change. We have life force with the Ankh or Ankh. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. A-N-K-H. But we have life force here. Again, I'm thinking of meditation. Life force meaning the energy that comes through you. Make sure you're taking deep breaths. Make sure you're allowing light in. Make sure you're allowing your body to feel itself. It's like some of you are not very much grounded. That's another way of seeing that. To me, groundedness means being in your body and accepting it for what it is and understanding what it is. When we're ungrounded, we feel the need to either control our bodies or to pay no attention to their bodies, or our bodies, or to like even be outside of our bodies. So there is this need to be in the present moment. Maybe some of you are going through some sort of energy where you're freaking out about something. So this is just a reminder that you need to be in a healthier state before you can even get your answers. If your body is going through some sort of emergency, then we can't really give a yes or no, because that seems to be irrelevant, considering that we need to focus on you right now. So I know this is probably not what you wanted to hear, pile one, so do feel free to choose other readings. This is part of the reason I don't like to do my yes no readings more than just 5 minutes, because I feel like we'll get a little bit off the subject. But like I said, we'll come back to it. We have coins abundance. For a lot of you, you're asking about money. For some of you, you're asking about money. And I'm being told, and I know this is kind of hard to hear, because maybe some of you really do need money right now, or you really are trying to focus on building up your finances or getting out of somewhere so that you can build your finances, or vice versa, building up your finances to get out of somewhere. But you still need to take care of yourself. Like, if your body isn't great, how are you going to do anything with the abundance that comes through? If you are not getting proper sleep, if you are not eating a healthy diet, if you are not doing something, if you are not taking care of yourself, even if it's just your mentality, how can you expect to spend that money wisely? When we're in negative states of mind, we're more likely to either overspend or not spend on the right things, or just not handle money properly. There's something about making sound decisions. And this, I'm not meant to alarm you here, pile one. I feel like a lot of you, you're nowhere near this bad. But this is kind of like a warning from spirit that you are not focusing on the right thing. You need to focus back on yourself, because you've been doing far too much for everybody else. You've been pouring your energy into everything else. You may even justify why you have to pour all your energy into everything else. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying you also need to take care of yourself. Back of the deck, we have integrity, horns. Yeah. The integrity that you have for yourself, the integrity of your body, the integrity of your mind. It's not being questioned. You're just being asked to pay attention to it. You're being asked to keep it intact. Make sure it's staying there. So I'm hearing some of you are wondering like about either a trip or a new job, something very pivotal. Again, if whatever it is that you want, if it's going to be bad for your body, then maybe really reassess that. Maybe find a way to be able to take care of yourself before you go there. For example, this is just a very lighthearted one. Let's say you want to move to a different country, but the cuisine of that country or like the average meal in that country doesn't really allow for you to have the kind of diet that you are used to. There's something here about making proper adjustments so that you either fit into that particular diet or maybe bring something with you. For example, I'm vegetarian, and I know if I was to move to other countries, I just couldn't be vegetarian the way that I am here. I would, if for example, I moved to certain parts of the world, I would probably pick up eating fish because I don't like red meat, but I would have to eat meat. This is just an example. I'm not saying this is what the case is. For some of you, maybe you're not very active and you want to move somewhere where, where you have to walk a lot. I know there's places that are just very walkable, which is always a good thing, but maybe you're not used to that kind of physical activity. So there's something here about you paying attention to your physical activity. Get used to walking, for over 30 minutes a day from point A to point B. These are just examples. I'm not trying to call anybody out here on anything. I just feel like the adjustments have to be made before you're able to move on to something here. And again, like I said, with money, even if you want to bring in a lot of money, do you know how to handle what money you have right now? Because that's going to give you an indication of how you will handle it. They say it's like that thing with people who win the lottery. Like after a few years, they go back to having the amount of money that they had before they won the lottery because they don't know how to handle it. So maybe take up courses on how to handle money before you even have that. And that way you get prepared for when you finally do get, whatever it is that you want, that you will know what exactly to do with it. These are very simple examples, by the way. These do not have to resonate with you. I'm just giving you examples. But let's go ahead and move on to the tarot to get more to see if we can get closer to a yes or no answer. But for a lot of you, you're kind of overlooking some other key things. And this actually happens a lot in my yes-no readings. Like people will come in for yes-no readings and instead they get messages from the universe saying, hey, we're actually not focusing on the thing we need to be focusing on. So for my pile 1, we're going to look very... let's go ahead and try asking yes or no again for you. Let's try asking yes or no. I'm being told to draw 3 cards. Every time I bring the tarot into yes or no, I always get asked to bring 3 cards for whatever reason. We have the 5 of Cups. Again, you're not focusing on the right thing because there's like 2 cups up here and she's focusing on, well, in the Rider Waite, it's focusing on the 3 that are left, that are knocked over and not noticing the 2 that are up. So you're not exactly focusing on the right thing. We have the 9 of Swords reversed. What they want to prevent is you worrying even more. What they want to prevent is you spiraling into a deeper state of mind that is a little bit harder to get out of. Because there is a potential here for you to, there's a potential here for you to become unstable in the way you think about this situation. Or even once you do get the situation going, like it's going to get worse unless you acknowledge it now. We also have the 6 of Cups. So it does seem like it's a no just because we have 2 reversed and 1 upright. The 6 of Cups is like you're holding on to some sort of rose-colored dream, rose-colored glasses kind of situation. You're not seeing everything. For some of you, we could be dealing with some sort of childhood dream or something from your childhood even, because I feel like, I don't want to say... I feel like something here, I don't know if it's you or maybe if it's somebody you're inquiring about or somebody related to this that could be emotionally mature, but it's like you're not seeing everything the way it's meant to be seen. So make sure you are paying attention to yourself, get back into your body. Make sure you are meditating. A lot of you could meditate. Some of you could benefit from writing as well. And of course, I do have to mention, if you feel the need to see a mental health professional, by all means, do see one. The way I've handled things has... just personally, from personal experience, I kind of want to talk about it, but I also don't. But I know that I've gotten a lot of great tips from her to be able to process what I'm feeling. She's given me a lot of great exercises. One of them being journaling. Journaling just about whatever it is that you need. my journaling process, I just write down positive things about myself, especially on days that I'm feeling low. It doesn't even have to be every day. It doesn't have to be something, you can do it as frequently or infrequently as possible, but something about getting your mental health back to where it needs to be. We have the Five of Swords. Some of you feel like the situation is a little hopeless. And again, this is why we need to get back into our bodies, why we need to do the meditation. Maybe some of you are kind of tired of hearing about that, but the truth is something will not show up for you until you are in the right mindset for it. You know, you have to be in the right mindset for something. You have the Three of Cups. Some of you need to get more socially, you need to, wow, why do I keep getting silence? There's something here in my throat. Like for some of you, this is like throat chakra situations, because what I want to say is you need to reach out to friends, but some of you don't want to. Specifically friends that either are going through a similar situation or have gone through a similar situation. For some of you, you just need companionship, and I feel like this is what could help out. If we're asking about a person, ask somebody who knows about them or knows them more closely. Of course, if they're capable of giving you some sort of look into that person, because I feel like you're not reaching out enough to the people who would help you out here. Or you for some of you, maybe you have been shut away from certain people, and maybe this is what's bothering you as well. We have the Ace of Swords. Yeah, we need a new perspective into this. We need a new mentality here. There's a lot of water and a lot of swords. Like this is both emotionally and mentally affecting you, pile. Ooh, pile 1. We have the Magician reversed. Look, you just don't believe that you have what it takes to manifest something. Or maybe you've been trying to manifest and you feel like it hasn't happened, so therefore it can't. We have the Three of Swords. But the truth is there's a pessimism here. There's like a strong pessimism here. And it's like, how can you believe something's going to come into your life unless you really truly believe in it? And you may even say that you do. But there's something keeping you from fully embracing it. And then back of the deck, we have the Four of Pentacles. And you keep holding on, like you keep making justifications as to why it won't happen, and yet you want it to happen. Do you see how those two energies are kind of like, they're misaligned? Like you can't expect something to happen, but you have a fundamental belief that it won't happen. So for example, in dating, I see this so much in dating, specifically the people that I've approached or that approach me. It's like people don't even like the gender that they're dating, and they talk trash about them. So how can you expect to attract somebody like that? Like that's just not going to happen. Like if you fundamentally, for example, if you fundamentally hate men, but you want to date them, that's just not going to happen. All you will attract are men that are hate-worthy. That's all you will attract. So for some of you, it's that kind of mentality. Same thing with money. Maybe you want to attract money, but you have this fundamental belief that people with money are, you know, some type of way. Maybe you have a very like maybe you just have some certain belief that people with money are a certain way. Well, if you don't want to become that, if you view it negatively, how can you expect to come into that much amount of money or something close to it? So there's something here about your core beliefs and the things you want not aligning exactly. So we have to look into why that is. And now that we're here, now that we're getting into some like really deep stuff, I kind of like this pile now. I mean, I've always liked it, but you know, it's getting very interesting. Let's get more cards. How do we overcome this? How do we overcome this and make it the answer that we want it to be? Because with the Magician reversed here, you're already a really good manifester. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Let go of any preconceived notions that you have about this. Let go of anything that you've done. Like if you literally want to view this in meditation, you can go back into your garden and rip up either the plant that hasn't been growing well. You can trim it. You can do whatever you need to. I mean, people do this in gardens all the time. You know, ask any botanist. If they see that a plant is growing something that it shouldn't be growing, they will cut it out because maybe it could get a deformity, or it could like I know some plants, they do get diseases and they'll even look sickly. I know that happened once before in my parents' yard. They had to cut down the poor pear, or was it a peach tree? And because it was clearly diseased, like it had little weird mold, like it wouldn't bear any proper fruit. So we had to, you know, get rid of it and plant something new. And I feel like you can do the same thing here. We also have the World. Come to terms with what it is that you want. Be very honest about what you want. And be honest of the reality of what you want as well. Like, let's say, I'm hearing more money, more problems. So for some of you, this could be about finances. Acknowledge that when you do make more money, you will also have to deal with the with whatever comes with more money. And that doesn't even have to be a bad thing. So like, for example, in the US, if you make more money, you pay more taxes. Be okay with that. Be like, and again, I'm not trying to get political or any type of way here, but you have to accept the reality of whatever it is that you want in order for it to come to you, you know, because look at how she's holding on to this moon, but the moon is also up here. Like, you have to really believe that then she's dealing with the fact that this moon is, well, it's round, it's probably very heavy, but it's also very illuminating. So whatever it is that you want, you have to deal with the reality. If you want a partner, if you want a person, I feel like you have to deal with the reality that you will have to make time and space and dedicate some energy towards this person. You know, some people choose to remain single because they don't want to. They want to focus all that time and attention on themselves, and they don't really have the will to pay attention to anybody else. And I mean, that's fair, you know? Why pretend that you want somebody if you're not really going to want to do anything for them? Okay, and then your last card was 2 cards. You have the Hangman and the Ace of Wands. You are going to go through a mind shift. I do see you actively going through some sort of mind shift, mind perspective. Maybe you will do this. Maybe you will go out of your way and find something online, like a meditation or a course or something where you are going to choose to change the way you view this. And these are all positive things. Like, you're going to actively go out of your way to do something about this. I do see a lot of you gaining what's the word, gaining the will to want to change your perspective. Because if you really want this, to either be a yes, or if you just want this in general, you are going to make sure you are the proper receiver for this particular thing that it is that you want, or the proper acceptor of something that you want offered to you, whatever the case is. Because I feel like, again, you've been mismanifesting, misaligned. You could have 2 very contradictory beliefs, you know, and at the end of the day, you just really do have to see where your wiring has gone wrong, or, well, I don't like to say it that way, where you are not being completely authentic to this end goal that you want, you know. And it happens to all of us, you know. We tend to be contradictory. That's the beauty of humans. We can be a bit contradictory because we're complicated. It's our complicatedness that makes us interesting. But some of you got a little bit too complicated or too contradictory, so it's just time to simplify things. Back of the deck, we have the Queen of Wands. For a lot of you, this is going to come in conjunction with a glow up of some kind. This is going to make you shine better. This is going to make you feel better. This is going to even make you attractive, not just physically or beauty wise, but like people are going to be very drawn to your energy. So I do feel like it's whatever this is, it's going to be very positive. And I love how like the fire came at the very end. For a lot of you, you didn't really have the passion or the willpower, the fire for this. And I feel like you're going to find it at some point. So I'm going to try and see if we can get a yes or no again. I'm not really doing this for any other pile, but because this one got a complicated answer, now knowing what we know, if pile 1 goes through all of this that they need to go through in order to get their end result, what is the answer? It's a hard no on this. And you may find out after doing all of this that you actually don't want this. Like I said, once you realize the reality of whatever it is that you want, you may decide, actually, I don't want it. I know this is especially true for people who say that they want a partner, but then they realize that having a partner is its own job, is its own thing. And you may decide you don't want one, or, you know, maybe you want to go live somewhere or take a trip somewhere. And then you realize that when you were there were a lot of things that, you know, while it was fun, you actually didn't like how you had to do XYZ, or maybe you didn't like how, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm trying to come up with ideas and examples, but you know what this is, pile 1. But it's a no on this. But the development that you will take in order to get there will be worth it, because it's going to shape you into a better person. And I do see better opportunities coming up for you, very similar to this and even better. So it may be a no for this particular thing that you're thinking about, but there's something better coming that you will definitely want to say yes to, or it even will say yes to you. It's not about you saying yes or no to it. It's about it saying yes or no to you. So this is where I leave it. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, pile 1. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and feel free to check out my other shorter yes/no readings in the description below. Take care. Hello there, pile 2. If you chose the blue apatite, then we have your yes/no reading here for you. I usually do my yes/no readings in a much more short form kind of reading, but I'm actually going to dive a little bit deeper into your yes or no answer, as well as the subject matter of the question at hand, and any sort of interesting information you may need to know. pile 1 was definitely an interesting reading. So let's see what your cards have in store for you for the blue apatite pile. So we have the book and the fox. Oh, you know what I thought of right away? I'm thinking of Avatar: The Last Airbender in the library where they have foxes who go and retrieve, well, they have scrolls, they don't have books, at least. I don't remember. Do they have books? I think it's mostly scrolls, but the foxes retrieve information. So we're dealing with information here that you need to know, which is interesting because I was just mentioning that. We're going to dive deep into information. Number 19, I am a pioneer. Independence and self-sufficiency are necessities to you. You are extremely capable in life and in work and aren't afraid to take big risks to achieve the life you desire. So there's something you're going to be learning, probably about the question you're asking. You're going to learn something about it, or you could be going into a field of study. If your question surrounds like school education or something along those lines, I feel like you are at the right pile. And for some of you, this could be secret information, like maybe we're talking about gossip, because foxes make me think of gossip. I keep hearing, what does the fox say? And it's like the fox has the T here or something. What else is coming through? I mean, if you really, really want to take it very deep and esoteric, like we could be talking about like the Akashic records for some of you, but that's only going to be for a few of you. I don't think everybody here is that deep into whatever this may be. Let's go ahead and get your yes/no cards though to see what my pile 2, what your answer is for this particular question. We have a sign of success. Ooh, so you're on the right path for sure. This feels very much like a yes, but you have to find out something first, or you have to finish, like if you're in school, you have to finish your field of study, you have to finish schooling, and you have to find out something a little bit more. It kind of feels like a test or like a riddle, like you have to figure out something and then it'll happen. So it's yes, like this is why it feels like school for a lot of you. Like you need to pass the exams and then you will graduate. I'm being told to read the back of this deck and I've never heard that. We also have chill out. So some of you could be obsessing over this. Like maybe you even already know that it's a yes, but you have such deep fears and worries that it won't happen. Like for a lot of you, you think it's not going to happen. So you're like obsessively thinking about this. And then it's like you could even be getting all the signs from the universe about what this is or what's happening, and you're still freaking out about it. Like I know that's happened to me where like I've had a particular question or a particular, subject in mind, and I'll consult various tarot readings, both, from actual people in person, paid, and like on YouTube, and I'll get the exact same thing, and I'm just like, but I'm not seeing it, and I don't know, like, I'll freak out about it. But literally every single thing has been telling me the same thing. So this could be the same for you, pile 2. You could be receiving the exact same answer, but you're freaking out about it. And the only reason it hasn't shown itself yet is because you're meant to learn something here before it happens, or you're meant to get, you already gotten the signs. I'm not saying that you're meant to get a sign, because you've already gotten them. If at the very least you're getting this one. But it's kind of like you're meant to learn something. You haven't learned everything yet. And I know that seems kind of weird because you're probably wondering what that could be. So let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. And then we'll dive into the tarot. But yeah, foxes could be important here. We have creator air. This is air energy in general. So air signs, Libra, Aquarius. I almost said Sagittarius. Maybe a Sagittarius is involved. And Gemini. I'm also hearing something about the wind. The wind could be important because I was looking at the weather at a very particular place in the world today this morning, and it said wind advisory, and I'm like, there's no wind where I am, but I forget that I'm not there. I know there's winds in certain parts of the world that kind of like they say wind can make you crazy. Whatever this is, it's definitely overtaking your mind. Like I don't want to say obsessed, pile 2, but you might be. Like, what is it? The Santa Ana Winds or something like that? Or the Summer Winds? That's a song by Frank Sinatra, I think. And then we have imbalance. It wanted to come out reversed. So you need to balance yourself. You need to get back to basics, balance yourself, balance out the situation even. If you're putting too much energy into this, maybe you just need to back off a little bit and let it happen because you already know it's going to happen. It's kind of like when you're waiting for something, the more you focus on the wait time, the longer the wait becomes, the longer the waiting time will feel, even if it actually isn't that much longer. Like, you know, sometimes 5 minutes feels like a really long 5 minutes. And I feel like we're really talking about patience here for you, pile two. We're talking about patience and information. I really want to know more about the information, though. So what's going on for my pile two? It's a yes, but what do they need to know? Okay, we have growth. So you're definitely in your period of growth. You're going through spiral. I'll come back to that, but you're going through a period of growth. We also have key freedom. Yeah, whatever this is, it's going to be a key to freedom. Like once this happens, you know that you'll be able to leave something behind, or you'll be able to move on from something. A lot of you, you're waiting for something to come in so that you can move on, but you're meant to wait this out, because I kept talking about patience and waiting. And it may feel like a very long, you know, however much amount of time you need to get from point A to point B here. You already know it's coming. You already know it's happening. But the more you wait, like, don't focus so much on the time and don't focus so much on the wait. I feel like I'm definitely like this. I feel like time goes by for me very, very slowly. And I don't know if I'm just a fast person or if I'm like that impatient. And I'm a Taurus, so that's always been weird. But I know for me, years go by very slowly for me. So when the end of the year is here and everybody's like, they're always like, oh, can you believe that it's already December and it's already, this year? And I'm like, yeah, I can't believe it, because this year has gone by really slow. I'm probably the only person who feels that way. But maybe you're in the same boat, pile two. Maybe usually years go by really fast for you, but for whatever reason, this particular set of time, whether it's years, months, weeks, etc., has been very long for you. Let's go ahead and get another card. Yeah, once this happens, once this time comes to pass, you'll be able to move on. We have lotus, purity. This was, again, more growth. Whenever I think of a lotus, I think of having to go through really, really, I'm almost hearing stupid situations in order to finally free yourself of something. And maybe they're not stupid, but they're gonna feel stupid in the long run. You're probably like, for example, I know I'm thinking of school right now. I'm thinking of like a graduate degree or something. You had to go probably through some really dumb courses, or had to deal with some really dumb, I don't know, projects, or maybe even professors, something along those lines, just to get to your end goal result. And from there, you can get the job you want. I keep getting, this must be school for a lot of you. Or if it's, for some of you, you're wondering about like big time soulmate, like the person you're going to marry, something along those lines. I feel like some of you feel that you have had to date some really awful people just to get to your person. That's not going to be everybody. It's very much a kissing frogs to get to the prince kind of situation. So maybe that's what some of you are going through. But this definitely feels like school. Let's get another card or something similar. A lot of you didn't deserve what you had to go through in order to get to this, by the way. I am getting that. Like, some of you really did have to go through some stupid stuff, and I'm very sorry for that. And I don't even think you're mad about it. I just think you wish you hadn't gone through that. We have cleanse, smoke. Yeah. So there's kind of like a feeling that you really have to close a chapter in your life. You have to seek your own closure here, because if you're waiting on closure from something else, it's never going to come. Closure has to come from you, for yourself. Back of the deck, we have journey, labyrinth. Yeah, for some of you, this was kind of like I don't know what some of you have been through, but I feel like you've had to go through like a really rough journey, or like, because labyrinth makes me think of like just all the obstacles you had to go through in order to get from one place to another, or in order to even learn the lesson. Maybe this book and the fox is actually just you learning your lesson in a certain way. And maybe, again, for some of you, these are lessons that you look back on and it's like, did I really have to learn my lesson that way? Did I really have to go through all of that just to get to this end result? And we're going to go more deeper into that in the tarot, of course, because I am getting with Pioneer, you chose, we're getting into Akashic Record stuff now, so use your own discrepancy here. when you chose to come into this life, you decided to go through certain obstacle courses just to get from point A to point B. And I know you're even thinking, I would never, but give it some time. I promise you, give it another maybe 10 years and you'll look back on it and be like, you know what, if I hadn't gone through that, I don't think it'd be very on brand of myself. I don't think it would be very me of myself if I hadn't gone through that, you know? Let's stick to the example of dating, because I feel like a lot of us who have dated around, you know, we've all been with that one person that when we look back, it's like, did I really need to be with that person for that amount of time with that amount of energy poured into it? You know, you're going to look back and realize, you know what, but with them, I learned about this, and with them, I learned about that. And I clearly fell for them because at that point, I was very much into somebody who looked like, you know, what they look like or did what they did. You know, you're going to look back at it and be like, you're going to laugh about it. So don't be so hard on yourself, Pile 2. Yeah, I think you chose that. In the long run, you will look back at it and kind of laugh about it. You know, it gives you something to laugh about at least, or it gives you a good story. And when it comes to be your time to teach somebody something, if you ever get to do that, if you ever have that privilege, you will be able to tell them that story, and it's going to be like, you know what, learn from my mistake. And this was my mistake, and it was a stupid mistake, so don't do my stupid mistake. I did it for you. You know, I'm hearing that. So yeah, it's on its way. Pile 2, it is. This is very much a yes, but you have to get in balance. You have to get out of your head a little bit, because I am feeling an overabundance of air energy. I am feeling an overabundance of being in your mind. That's why you need to chill out and understand that it's all part of the growth process. Understand that it's all part of whatever this is. Numbers coming through, we have 19. I think this is 11 for those of you who are life path 11. 33 for those of you who are life path 33. We are in the 33 life path gang. We also have number 6, which if you are life path 33, you're also life path 6 by default, which is very interesting. Number 32 and 45. So these could be important ages or important numbers to you. And we also have 14 here for those of you who are, 14 twice. That's interesting. The fox and balance here. Some of you have to balance out where you are. This is about speaking or about hearing about it. You need to balance out how much you're hearing about this particular subject or how much you're talking about it. Because, you know, when you talk too much about something and you tell everybody about it, like their energy will kind of warp it or send bad juju or whatever. Because even though people may pretend that they're very much okay with something, you never know who is like secretly, actively working against you. Out of pure envy. And it doesn't even have to be malicious. It could just be them really not believing in you. And I don't even think they go out of their way to do this. Like like, for example, and I try to be very positive about this too. I know sometimes, you know, when I hear somebody, and sometimes I try to even keep my intuition out of it, because I will know with my gut feeling whether something's going to work out or not. When somebody tells me something, I try to wish them very well about something, but sometimes my gut feeling will be like, actually, this is what's going to happen. I'm like, hey, gut feeling, they didn't ask. They did not ask unless they are in danger or something. They did not ask for your opinion. Just wish them well and let them go on their merry way to do whatever it is that they're meant to do. It's their lesson, it's their life, and whatever it is, you know, unless I know for sure that they're going to be wasting their time or in trouble some way, I don't really try to intervene with people's life story. I think I've learned that the hard way, because there have been times where I've told people, you know, certain things and they just don't listen. And then you just have to kind of watch their life play out in ways that they themselves didn't want, you know, but it's still part of their life lesson. They very much have free will. And as an intuitive person, you kind of have to let them do their own thing. I think mothers with children probably suffer from this the most, you know, because mothers always want to give their kids their best wishes. I keep hearing consejos. Some of you must have like Latin American mothers. But kids have to do their own thing, you know. If their mom was to tell them exactly how to do everything in life that isn't practical, you know, outside of like chores and stuff, like if they were to tell them who to date, where to work, what friends to have, etc., like that kid would not have the life that they want, because they're still meant to learn. So some of you could have that perspective that you are dealing with right now, whether it's yourself or somebody else. So yeah, for a lot of you, don't speak too much of it out into the world. Like, don't tell too many people about your precious plans, and don't think about it too much either. Like, sometimes you just have to wish for something and let it go, and don't let it overtake your mind. And if it is overtaking your mind, it's become a disease, and we have to put an end to it, you know? But regardless, this is a yes. Let's go ahead and move on to the tarot. But this is very interesting energy that is coming through here, because some of you already know that it's a yes, but you're just here for like double, triple, quadruple confirmation. Hence why we have to chill out, pile 2. So I'm gonna, I mean, just for you, because this is why you're here, we're gonna double confirm it with the tarot. So pile 2. I am taking reversals here because the first 3 cards I'm going to pull, they're going to give us a yes or a no. If there are more upright, it's a yes. If there are more reversed, it's a no. Okay, these 2 came out together. We have the 6 of Cups. We have the 10 of Pentacles. This has been a lifelong dream for some of you. And the 9 of Wands, yeah. And maybe you've even had to defend this to some, like I said, be careful who you tell this about, because you've had to defend this. Not just from, like, you know, for example, your parents or your close friends, but everybody that you tell. You have a lifelong dream here. And like the more you tell people, the more they're going to put doubts into you. 10 of Cups reversed, there is something to do with like career or finances here. I do feel like that's the only place where you are a little bit hesitant about. Like, for example, if you want a career in something, you're wondering if you're actually going to be able to make a living off of it, as opposed to needing a second job to support that or to supplement your income. So for a lot of you, that's the only doubt you have to eradicate, is that you can't make any living off of this. But for a lot of you, you've been wanting to do this for a long time. 6 of Cups is like a childhood dream or something similar to a childhood dream. I'm also hearing like a dream a child would have that maybe you decided to pick up in adulthood. So, you know, kids have some wild, crazy aspirations. Some of them want to be, I don't know, singers, dancers, sports people. But I feel like you picked this up later in life. Like, you didn't realize this was a dream of yours until well into your adulthood is what I'm hearing. I feel like that's why a lot of the numbers coming out in the oracles were like ages of adulthood, except for 14. Maybe some of you have been wanting to do this since you were 14. With 9 of Wands, though, like I said, you're willing to put in the work and effort to this. And I feel like that's where it really pays off. Regardless of what it is that you want, you're putting in the effort. You're showing up every day, regardless of how, you know, things go. Like, sometimes you have to show up on days that you know you're going to do well. And sometimes you have to show up on days that you know are not going to go well. That's with any profession. That's with anything that you do for a living. Sometimes you're going to do great and sometimes you're not going to do great. But at the end of the day, I feel like you don't tire of this. Heck, this could even be something that really reignites your passion. When you think of people who do great things in their field, sometimes they go after things that maybe they didn't think they would. I think of people who are almost like really influential. They go after things that nobody else thought that they would. Some people become really good in the public eye and they end up being celebrities because they're really good at working that. They're really good. They love it and the audience accepts it and people love that. And then there's some people who they just make it their passion, whatever it is that they want. Maybe the study of human nature or the study of animals or something along those lines. There's something here about a lot of information and learning about this. Whatever this is, pile 2, you're never going to stop learning about it because it truly is something you're passionate about. This is something you're truly passionate about. 10 of Pentacles reversed also makes me think that maybe you feel that you're a little unstable or ungrounded when it comes to this particular subject or whatever this is. And the truth is, you just really love this. Like, when you really love something, you never get tired of it. I feel like for a lot of you, this does have to do with like career or money or something that you're trying to pursue. You're never going to get tired of it. You're probably going to do it forever, regardless of whether it brings you money or not. I feel like this is what you've decided. But when you work towards something long enough, I feel like it eventually does bring you some sort of reward, regardless of what that reward is, whether it's monetary or something else. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards, though. These are just going to be anything else that you need to know about this, but it's a yes because you dedicate a lot of your time, effort, and even joy into this. We have the 10 of Swords reversed, and honestly, I feel like you started doing this very thing because you already knew you were somebody who overthought about everything, like everything and everything. Yeah, you're an overthinker, and I feel like whatever this is, it's a particular thing that is very suited for your mentality, for your behavior, whatever it is that you do. This suits your nature very well. So I feel like this actually started as you wanting to alleviate some sort of stress or wanting to like answer your own questions. I'm getting a lot of like podcast kind of energy or like something on social media again, because there's people out there who don't believe that you can make money off of social media, when in reality, like people make a lot of money off of all sorts of streams of income online. But there's always people who are a lot more old school minded, probably your parents or anybody older or anybody, I don't know, but like you came to this platform, you came to this very particular thing because you needed something to distract you from other problems or to alleviate stress. I keep getting that. If it's not that, it could also be something like, if you work as, for example, a personal trainer at the gym, you probably started going to the gym to alleviate some sort of anxiety or to just not just get in your best shape. I feel like it was something deeper than that. And then you ended up becoming a personal trainer, and personal trainers can make a lot of money. Same thing with yoga. The most amount of money I think I've made easily was probably with yoga, but I don't do that anymore for practical reasons. But like I started doing yoga really because I was going through so much stress and I wanted to, maintain my my physical body. And before I knew it, I was making a lot more money that way than in any other avenue. So this is something similar here for some of you. Like you didn't come into this to make money to begin with. You came here because you already needed some sort of deep, you needed something for your soul or your mind. Yeah, 5 of Cups. And I feel like you're really good at getting people out of their head is what I'm hearing. You're also really good at showing them what to focus on. Some of you could even be therapists, or some of you could be just like really good coaches, maybe even a life coach. If you're wondering if you can make money as a life coach, I always hear yes from the universe. I always hear yes. And look, even I don't believe it, but then I stop and think, it's like, you know what? I'm actually a little bit of a life coach just doing tarot here. So for some of you, if you're wondering about that, it's a big yes. There's something else that wants to come through here, but you have to focus on what your specialty is, or like make sure you make your specialty very obvious, because there's a specific type of client that is coming to you is what I'm hearing. Not that that's the only client you will have, but everybody has their specialties, and it doesn't become apparent until you start doing that very thing. We have the 2 of Wands. I feel like some of you feel that you're not ready or that you haven't planned this out enough, but you have. You have, or even if you haven't, you don't really need to. Like you're good. You're set up in a way that you need to. 3 of Cups. You're afraid of what your friends might think, or society at large, society in general. Like you don't even know how to tell people what it is that you do because you feel you don't have a traditional career or job, especially if everybody else around you is, a doctor, a dentist, or some other thing, prestigious, whatever, that everybody understands, knows, and, applauds. Everybody else, is a teacher, I don't know, whatever. Just insert more traditional career profession here. Everybody else is this. And then you're over here doing this, and you don't even know how to present yourself to people when people ask you, what do you do for a living? But I feel like, again, it's not about, well, it is about them, because I feel like you care about them. You'll learn how to market yourself in a way that applies to people. Because some of the people who make the most money out there don't even have professions that are really, they could say they're XYZ, but what they actually make their money from is something else. There's even celebrities out there, and everybody knows that they're, a singer, an actor, whatever. But they actually make their money through real estate, or they actually make their money through whatever else, like things that don't actually have anything to do with their profession. So don't worry about what it is that you do. Ask yourself, do people really care about what you do, or do they care about how you make your money? Because sometimes what they really care about is how you make your money and how you're able to afford what you can afford, which, that's, it's all, I guess it depends on your society. Because, there's people who work in the adult industry who make tons of money, but I think there's a lot of people who probably wouldn't respect that. So ask yourself what people really care about when they ask you what you do for a living, or even why you care so much. Let's get the last card. We have the 4 of Wands. And yeah, like I said, some of you are having a hard time celebrating yourself over this because you may not even be very proud of whatever it is that you do. But I don't know. I want one more card. I know I said one last one, but the Fool. I keep getting this like private secret energy, because the full upright, you wouldn't be afraid to tell people who you are, what you are. And reverse, it's like you don't want to tell them. And in all fairness, you're allowed to keep it secret. You don't have to tell people what you do for a living. You just let them know, that you live comfortably or that you make enough to get yourself by. After all, it's not really their business. I feel like some of you are going to embrace the art of privacy and secrecy very well, which, if that's what you need for whatever it is that you do, that's fine. And then for some of you, you just may not want people in your business for whatever reason, which again, it's very fine. Especially, I see this a lot in people in professions. Let's say everybody else isn't a doctor and you are like the first doctor in your family or group of friends. Same thing. Maybe you just want to keep it on the down low, because once they realize that's what you are, maybe they all come after you because it's like, oh, you must make great money. And they don't realize you have, loans to pay off from, graduate school, all the schools you went to. I almost said doctor's school. You still have loans to pay off from doctor's school. Okay. You know what I mean, pile 2. But yeah, I feel like you're on your way there and it's going to happen. I think you're more concerned with like what's going to happen once it happens. And if so, I would look into yourself and ask yourself, well, 1, why do you care what people have to think about this? 2, if finances are a big thing, make sure you have those squared away. There's plenty of resources online for free that you can look up to see how to handle your finances, how to pay off things, how to learn how to have more money. I know some people are not used to having a higher income. And some people, maybe you have to get used to a reduced income, even though you really love what you do because that's what you want to do. Depending on the situation here. Back of the deck, what do we have? Yeah, Knight of Wands. Regardless, you love what this is. You love what you're doing. You know it's going to happen. And the only thing getting in the way of you really celebrating this and being proud of it is everybody else's opinion of this. So it could even be that if you are currently in school and you do have a particular field of study, you're going to do something completely different after that. And you're just there to finish off the program and then get on with your life. So I feel like you also have to come to terms with that. But whatever it is that you do, you have passion for it. You love it. It's something you've always wanted as a kid. And it makes you happy. Even if nobody else understands it, it makes you happy. If we're not talking about a career, by the way, I feel like I just stayed with the example of a career because it was easy. If we're talking about relationships, same thing. I think everybody expects you to be with somebody that looks like this, that looks like that comes from this family. But you know that the person that you absolutely adore is nothing like that. And the reason you even started hanging out with them that much or even were attracted to them is because they took your mind off of a lot of things. They make you feel comfortable. They make you feel like you. And you know that your friends don't understand it. You know that your family doesn't understand it. But what does it matter? They're not the one who is, marrying them or whatever. This is very much you. And what else? For some of you, it could just be a lifestyle that you're embracing. It may have nothing to do with career or even relationships. It could just be a lifestyle you're embracing. And it's like, well, who cares if people understand this or not? It's none of their business what happens to me, when I go home or what I do at home. So yeah, pile 2. I feel like this is where I'm going to leave it. It's guaranteed on its way to you. It's going to happen. And I feel like you just have to let go of whatever everybody else seems to think about this. But this is where I leave you. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will link my shorter yes/no videos in the description below. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose the lepidolite triangle stone, we have a reading here for you for your yes/no question. This is going to be a little bit more in-depth than my usual yes/no quickie readings. I usually like to do them under 5 minutes because to me a yes/no is very simple and straightforward, but I'm going to dive a little bit deeper. I actually did this because of a request somebody asked, or they kept asking for yes/no videos, and I guess they meant like longer form ones. So yeah, we're going to finally dive a little bit more deeply into your yes/no question. But if you would prefer the shorter versions, I am going to link them down below. I have a whole playlist of them. But let's go ahead and get started with your yes/no question. These 2 cards are going to tell us what the nature of the question is, and then we're going to do the yes/no card. We have number 10, I am ingenious. You have great leadership skills. Your mind is sharp and allows you to dream up ingenious ideas and organize all the details, then direct others how to carry things out. And then we have the snake. Kind of wanted to come out reversed. Number 7, the snake. Okay, so several things going on here. First of all, pile 3, regardless of what your question is, you have great leadership potential. You have great leadership skills. I think you know this. I think people have told you this before, and maybe you don't want to believe it, or you just think that you wouldn't be up for the pressures of a leadership position. The thing is, there's people that if you were to go into a position of leadership, because I'm getting a sense of like, I'm getting a sense that you feel like you could, but you wouldn't. If you already are in a leadership position, just ignore this next part. It's just like, for a lot of you, you don't want to take that position. And I kind of get it, especially with the state of how certain companies are run in certain areas of the world. It's a little bit, it's a little bit not very fair that once you get, for example, where I live, there's a lot of places that once you get a salaried position, they feel like the hours you put in to your work don't matter. But the truth is that if you're working more hours for a particular salary than working by an hourly wage, you're likely to make less money per hour. Does that make any sense? Like, there's basically some sort of unfairness that you don't want to have to deal with should you take a leadership position. But you do have those qualities regardless, and they are admirable qualities that could be used in any workspace, in any environment, in any project, even with your friends. If you're the one who's always organizing things, or even in your family, I feel like you're really good at coming up with plans and following them through and making everybody, not making, but having a task for everybody to do that they are well suited for. Like I was actually getting this download before I started your reading, because I work in an environment where I make a great leader, not because I am a leader. I'm not in a position of leadership at all, but it comes naturally to me because I know what work needs to be done. So I'm wondering if some of you are thinking about the same thing. But with Snake, it wanted to come out reversed, letting me know that, well, one, you don't have as many enemies as you believe. Quite the opposite. I feel like people are really rooting for you. In this particular case, I feel like there's people who are actually advocating for you and preventing snakes from coming through. But even if you do have snakes, like, you're very divinely protected from them. Even if you do have people who are working against you or who, want to see you fail, like, they're not going to win. You are. Not just are you divinely protected, people really do appreciate and acknowledge you for who and what you are and what you do. People will defend you to the death because I feel like you're a very valuable person. I was going to say employee, but I feel like person in general is coming through here. But let's go ahead and get your yes, no question. So I feel like for a lot of you, this does have something to do with like a career, promotion, leadership position, or something where you might be given an honor to do something. All right, so what's the yes, no question? We have yes, yes, yes. Okay, there we go. And the end of reading, it's a yes. No, I'm kidding. But this is very much a yes. Whatever the question is, especially when it comes to anywhere where you have to take charge of something, it's a yes, because you're made for this. I feel like for a lot of you, this comes very naturally to you, especially for those of you who have Capricorn in the outer planets. That would be my generation. I actually have a Capricorn stellium in, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. And then for some of you born, I don't know if people this young are able to watch this channel, but Pluto in Capricorn could be of importance. Maybe that's when you came into a position of leadership during the Pluto in Capricorn years, which would have been, I think, about 2008. It was around the time I graduated high school, actually. 2008 to like just last year. So for those of you in the workspace questioning your leadership qualities, don't, because you have them. So let's go ahead and get more cards. But basically, yes. In fact, I feel the need to brush over the yes because I feel like you're here for other, like, your question is actually a bit more complicated than that. And so far, you're the only pile that I've chosen only one card for from this yes, no deck. We have change maker, make waves. You are bringing a change with you in whatever it is that you're doing. For some of you, you're starting something that a lot of people haven't started before, or you're one of the few people to do the thing that you're about to do. Therefore, you are bringing this sense of change into the world. And I get this a lot from like intuitives, empaths, people who are very much in the spiritual community, or like energy healing community. You're here to create a sort of wave of change throughout the world for those of you who are more spiritual. And I think you know who you are. Let's get another card. We have, you are living poetry. Like I said, people admire you. People might even love the very way that you do your own thing. They may love the way that, for example, the way you take charge, the way you lead. They may love the way you work, whether it's quite literally physically. Maybe they actually see you work and they just love the way you do it. Especially for those of you who do something that requires movement, like bodily movement, like if you're a dancer or something, they may actually love watching you move. Or if you're, for example, a speaker, like on a podcast or some YouTube channel, they may love how you speak, or they may love how you present certain things. People really are inspired by you. I'm getting strong Pisces energy with this You Are Living Poetry. So there's somebody out there, well, several people out there, not just one, who really love watching you at work, to the point where I feel like people may even like make you an example, or may like just sit there and watch you, or stand there and watch you, and just like try to figure out how you do the things you do. And the truth is, you have a little bit of divine seasoning on yourself, if you will, because it's not something that is learned overnight. This is not something that can be copied or mimicked very easily. What you have to offer the world is something that not a lot of people can do, and that's just part of what makes you invaluable. Because every tarot reader, every energy worker, every spiritual, whatever field that you are thinking about that you think is oversaturated, everybody will have their own thing, and everybody is suited for a specific type of audience or customer or whatever it is that you think. So whatever you do, Pile 3, you do it very much to, well, one, it's very much like your brand, like you do your thing your way, and it's poetry to some people. Some people just absolutely love it. And two, there's nobody else like you, because they're not meant to be. It's like, you know how like there'll be groups of siblings, and they may come from like siblings of, I don't know, 5 or more, or like however many there are, and they all think that they're the same, or they all think, because they came from the same family, that they're the same. And the truth is they're not. Get them alone, and they all have their own strengths, they all have their own personalities. That's what I'm getting. For some of you, you honestly believe that you're just like everybody else, or that you're nowhere near as good as the other person. And the truth is, you have your own thing coming here for you. You have your own thing here, and I feel like this is the beauty of this. Let's go ahead and get more cards though for my Pile 3. It's a yes, but I feel like you need a lot of encouragement, which is very much like Pisces, isn't it? Like I said, strong Pisces energy, and I have Moon, Mars, and Ascendant in Pisces, so trust me, I'm honorary Pisces. I understand that you just need that one person to truly believe in you, and you'll go the distance, because for whatever reason, you believe in everything and everybody else, but you cannot believe in yourself. For the life of you, you cannot believe in yourself. And I'm not saying that to put you down. I'm just saying that with so much love. I understand it. I'm here to say, Pile 3, I very much believe in you. Okay, we have, pyramid mystery. You are able to unlock certain mysteries of the world that other people cannot, or even if other people can, you're like one of the rare few who actually is able to see into the mysteries of the world. So let's say you're not the only, channel or medium psychic. I feel like you're part of the elite few who can do this. And maybe you even come to YouTube videos or seek out other psychics just to see like what, for confirmation. And that's fair. I know I do this. I'll look up certain psychics about, for example, the pyramids, or like great mysteries of the world. And usually I get like sometimes similar meanings about certain things. So I feel like regardless of what it is that you do, you're great at uncovering mysteries. Pyramids are also, at least what I'm hearing for this particular pile, I'm hearing something about like honoring the past and honoring the past, honoring something. Honoring the gateways is what I'm hearing. Honoring the past, the gateways. I was going to say the future, but it's like there used to be a future here and now there isn't. That's weird. Okay. Honoring paths that could have been, and honoring paths that were, as well as the paths you will create. I feel like a lot of you do this. You do this for yourself and other people. Let's get another. I'm being told Egypt or parts of Latin America could be important, because I want to say that's Chichen Itza. This is obviously the Great Pyramids, and I forget the name of this other pyramid. It's probably in the book, but if you know, you know. Maybe certain parts of the world call to you. We also have chance. Every time I see this, I want to say change. This is chance dice. A lot of you, you're very lucky. The number 4 is important here because it's already come out 3 times. We have 45, 4, and 14. And that's 3-4, so angel number 444 could be of importance. But a lot of you, you're very lucky. With dice, I feel like a lot of you have taken certain chances on certain things and ended up a lot luckier than most people. I'm hearing specifically that you have a habit, well, not a habit, well, maybe it is a habit. You have this thing where you take the most difficult situations or difficult people or difficult things, and you're able to get like the best result from it, which is very interesting. For example, and I'll use myself as an example too. When I was in school, I would always, the people that were the meanest or the people that were the most difficult to deal with, they would always be so nice to me. And I never understood why, because I was very quiet, very shy. I did nothing to appease anybody, but I kept to myself. But they would always be so nice to me, to the point where people were wondering, it's like, oh, are you two close friends? And I'd be like, no, I'm just here, you know. I feel like a lot of you, you're very lucky. You could also be a little bit of a charmer, because whenever I think of dice, I think of, I don't know why, I think of New Orleans, because there's a little bit of a gambling thing over there. And if you know anything about men from New Orleans, they could charm just anybody. Men from Louisiana in the USA, stay away from them, because they will charm anything and anyone. Maybe that's an important place in the world for you as well. Let's get another card. We have water, primordial. Yeah, like I said, lots of water energy here. So not just Pisces, but I'm also seeing Cancer and Scorpio. Water energy in general could be of importance to you. You could be year of the water, water snake for one, which I don't think 2025 is, which is the year that is upcoming, that is a snake. But maybe some of you were born in the year of the water snake, or water, any animal, you know, like water horse, water monkey. I'm trying to think of all the water water signs that have been here. Water dog. Yeah, so water in general could be important. And then of course water pig. And then I need to get back into my Chinese astrology because I love it. Okay, let's get one more card. We have journey, labyrinth. Yeah, so again with the mysteries, because to me a labyrinth is a mystery. A labyrinth is a riddle. It's not just a journey, but it's also like you never know where you're going to land, but once you get there, it's going to be important. And maybe some of you feel like there's no end to this, or that some things, when things seem hopeless, you seem to find your answer. When you hit rock bottom, or whenever you get to like the worst heartbreak you've ever had, you will start getting like a new spiritual development. It's kind of like you had to run low in order to hit that. And maybe some of you get annoyed at that particular, you get annoyed with that in general. I know I do, because whenever I hit my lowest point and whatever it is that I'm doing, I'll get like a kundalini reawakening or a reactivation of my spiritual endeavors, or like something will, like I'll start doing something more than I used to. So for a lot of you, I feel like sometimes you have to hit rock bottom and you get annoyed with that, but that's part of what makes you get to the next level, if you will. And you just become luckier and luckier. The more you live life, the more you experience life. I feel like you wanted to come to this life not having answers because you wanted to figure out the answers. You didn't want to come to this life already knowing everything. I feel like you would have been bored. You wanted to figure things out, you know? It's like if you were given the map to the labyrinth, as opposed to figuring it out yourself, which one would be more satisfying in the end once you know you're going to get out of it? Because I feel like in the end, you know you'll be fine. It's just the journey to get there is what could frustrate you. Back of the deck, we have balance, scales. Yeah. I feel like I'm getting off topic a little bit, because this particular balance lets me know that you need to be balanced a little bit more before you get to this yes. Like, yes, whatever this is, it's a yes. But the balance lets me know that you have to make sure you're keeping a good equilibrium here, because you don't want something to get out of hand. You don't want something to get out of place here. What's underneath that? We have crown, sovereignty. Ooh, like I said, you're leveling up, and rainbow, hope. And some of you had given up hope, but like I said, this was the sign you needed for something getting better or something going to a better place. It's a yes. For a lot of you, this could be career. Maybe you are getting a new job and it's going to be one in a position of leadership, or it's going to give you some leadership abilities, which is going to be good for your particular either skill set or just your personality. I think some people were just born to be leaders, and this is what they need, regardless of whether they are actually in a position of leadership or not. I know I was, because I'm a firstborn. I'm used to telling people what to do. It's not that I like to, it's just that I'm used to it, you know, because I've been called a control freak for more times than I can imagine. And like, if you look at my channel, it's nowhere near as like, if I was a control freak, I'd have better aesthetics. My videos would be better quality, and yet here I am, just posting this out because I know somebody needs to hear it. That's why I do this, out of necessity. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the tarot. I want to see what this yes is. The subject matter really does feel like something where you feel you're not ready, but the truth is that you are. And then we got like very spiritual over here. If it's not spiritual with mysteries, you're really good at figuring out how people operate and why they do what they do. For example, if you are in a position of leadership, or if you're in any sort of field, anywhere where you have to take charge, you're good at getting to know people, not just people in general, like, you know, what their name is, who their family is, etc., but how they work, how they operate, and how they move. I keep getting movement here. For some of you, there is a Kundalini awakening, by the way. But for some of you, it's like watching a snake move and shed its skin, which is really cool to look at, by the way. You almost think there's two snakes, and then it just sheds its skin. You're good at understanding that things are always in motion. Things are always like in movement. That things are not static. And even when stagnancy is a thing, stagnancy itself is a sort of movement, where the movement stays within its place and like gets agitated, I'm seeing. Because whenever I think of stagnancy, it's never actually staying stuck. It's staying stuck and knowing you're supposed to be elsewhere, knowing you're supposed to go forward. I'm thinking of like traffic. You know, when you're stuck in traffic, that's stagnancy. But are you meant to? But are you actually just, you know, sitting still? Well, at least I know I'm not. But I know, you know, the car's still running. You're still there, alert enough so that when it's time to move, you're moving. Sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent. Okay, so the tarot portion. We're going to draw 3 cards just to solidify whether it's a yes or no. And if at least 2 of the 3 are up, then it's a yes. If they're reversed, then it's a no. But I do get a feeling it's going to be a yes. And even if it says no, we're going to see why. We have Magician. Yeah, a lot of you, you're very, very powerful. Magician is like, think the leader of all leaders. You would think it's the Emperor, and that's right. But the Emperor seeks the Magician for help. So therefore, it's like the Magician doesn't need labels of leadership because they know they're capable of manifesting and alchemizing everything around them. So therefore, then the label of leadership doesn't really entice them as much. Like, they understand the weight of it, but they do not care. So the Magician is actually more powerful than the Emperor. And more powerful than the Magician is the Fool, because Fool does not care regardless. That's weird. I've never seen the major arcana as a hierarchy that way, which would explain why the Empress comes before the Emperor. But anyway, let's get another card. We have the Hierophant. Speaking of which, it's the card after the Emperor. So yeah, a lot of you, you're actually very, very skilled, educated, or you just have a lot of experience in whatever it is that you're doing. Even if you feel you don't, you have enough experience to get by. You have enough experience and definitely the wisdom, because I feel like, let's say we have 2 people who have worked at the same thing for years, maybe the same amount of years, but somebody here knows how to take that information to the next level, and somebody here only knows it at like the regular level, base level, or even less because they don't really care. So for a lot of you, pile 3, you actually know more than the people around you, regardless of whether you've been doing it for as long as you have or not. So for example, my channel hasn't been around that long. It's only been like a year and some change, but I've been doing this for 10 years. And even then, that doesn't matter, because I read the cards on a deeper, like I channel more than I read the cards. I'm channeling, and then I'm also tapping into, like if I do personal readings, I'm tapping into their astrological chart. I'm reading the energies. I'm just like, I'm doing things on multiple levels. And I'm not saying that there's wrong with anybody else. That's just how I do it. But I feel like there's people out there who just like to measure themselves up to everybody else, you know? I used to measure myself up to the tarot ladies that I grew up with who've been doing it for decades. But, you know, and nothing against them. I have a lot of respect for them, but I do my thing differently, and I think it works differently as well, depending on what it is that people need to hear. And I just feel like some of you needed to hear that, because you think that because you've been doing this for a little bit that you don't know as much as everybody else. It's not just that you're gifted, it's also that you care. There's a lot of passion here. Okay, let me get the rest of the cards. Yeah, a lot of you, you're very, very intuitive and very strong channelers. Because I'm kind of forgetting that I have cards. Okay. Oh, okay, 2 more came out. And they're all upright, just for that triple confirmation or quadruple confirmation. We have the Six of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. The only problem you have here, and this is where you have to watch out, again with the balance, the Six of Pentacles, don't give more than you're meant to. And I feel like especially if you're talking about a business, don't go out of your way to do more unless you're getting paid for that. I see, again, if we're talking about a career, this is so... I see this so often. They'll give people a salaried position, but then like the hours that they're working when combined, when, you know, when you do the math, it's nowhere near as much as if they were working hourly. And then Five of Swords. For some of you, you feel that you need to give up some sort, like you feel you need to give up money in order to do the things you want, or in order to like gain either a following, like you feel you need to give something up here. And I feel like that's not the case. I'm hearing Spirit say that you shouldn't give up anything. You are worth just as much as anybody else, you know? There's some sort of lack of belief here. If you came from pile 2, there was something similar in that reading. At least if I remember correctly. I feel like a lot of you, you're so strong, you're so gifted, you're so talented and experienced, you're so good at what you do, and yet you don't value it enough, or you feel the need to not charge enough or be given enough money for whatever it is that you do. Again, sorry with the personal examples, but I've done the same job for 7 years, and for the first 3 years I was getting paid half as much as in the last 4 years, because I simply had to switch companies. And the next company I actually did a lot less and I was getting paid more. So, you know, don't think that because you do more that you're going to get paid more. That's not always the case, unfortunately. And I think especially with like within small businesses, and I hate seeing this in small businesses. I don't think anybody should ever undersell themselves. If you're first starting off your business, yes, for sure, because you need to start building that clientele and you need to give them that, let them see how much it is that, you know, you're worth it here. But after a while, you know, prices do need to go up slightly, or you need to start valuing your time. If there's a high demand for you, then also let the price point reflect that. And I see people who do, you know, a bit of a sliding scale. During certain times of the year they'll charge more, and during other times they'll charge less, just because, again, the availability that you may have. And this is for any business. Let's go ahead and get more cards. I opened up to the Queen of Cups. So for a lot of you, people really value that you're very much human, is what I'm hearing. They value that you're very much human. Oh, especially with AI becoming a big thing right now. And for those of you who are artists, people are going to value human work a lot more. Like, yes, AI may cost less, but compared to somebody who is like, you know, a breathing, living, bleeding human being, they'd rather pay them twice as much as AI. We're going to see that shift within the next few decades. Because I know some people see like the end of times, it's like, oh, we're not going to be talented anymore. I actually see the opposite. Because a lot of people who are called to certain things, they're called to it because they love it and they're passionate about it. That was like one of the biggest things I was taught growing up, you know, when my mother was telling me about why people do certain things. And I think I was asking, I forget what I was asking. I think I was talking about, I don't even know. But she told me that certain people, they do something because they really love it. And if they're doing it because they really love it, chances are they're really good at it. All right, let's get more cards. We have the Eight of Wands reversed. Again, we're talking about stagnancy. I think some of you believe that because there's a stagnant or a slow period in your life right now, that it's actually not meant for you. That's not the case. We have the High Priestess. I'm not surprised. I kept feeling her energy here because a lot of you are so psychic. You are so psychic. It's not even funny. I have the Four of Wands. Who is doubting you, pile 3? I feel like there's some energy doubting you, and maybe this is just some sort of, I don't know, like a negative energy, an entity, whatever you want to call it, that you need to release. Because that's the thing about being very spiritual. You constantly have to release any sort of like energetic junk that you know is not yours. Just like how we have to wash our bodies. Like, our bodies are beautiful and wonderful and thriving, but we still have to wash them every day because, you know, they will get dirty, they will sweat, etc. So there's something about spiritual maintenance here, regardless of whether your field is spiritual or not. Even if you work in the workplace, make sure you're taking time for yourself to relax, to just take your mind off everything, especially those of you who have jobs where your boss is calling you at all hours of the day as if you have all the time in the world to answer them. Time away from whatever you need to do is still time away, and that doesn't make you less of an employee. That doesn't make you less of a leader. That doesn't make you less in any way, shape, or form. We have the Star. People are really people are really watching you. They're really looking at what you have to do. They're looking at your skills. They're looking at your numbers. For some of you, I'm hearing they're looking at what it is that you do, because you have a very promising energy. Yeah, Nine of Cups. For some of you, you're doubting the life that is meant for you so hard. You're doubting all the gifts that the universe wants to bestow upon you, all because you feel that you don't deserve it, or that it's not meant for you, or that you couldn't possibly be that way. If you're different from everybody else in the thing that you're trying to go for, it's because you're meant to be, because this particular thing needs somebody different, is what I'm hearing. I'm being shown from Zootopia, Judy Hopps, like they told her that a bunny couldn't be a cop in Zootopia. Like, you had to be a predator animal or a big animal, something where you couldn't be that because she's just a little bunny. But she did it anyway because she was passionate about it, and because that's what she wanted to do. And she was very much meant for that job, and she ended up being really great at it. So for some of you, I'm seeing that particular movie or that particular analogy. Last card, we have Page of Pentacles. I wanted to say Eight of Pentacles, but it's Page of Pentacles. Some of you, you're not beginners anymore. You are not, I'm hearing you're no spring chicken. You're not beginners anymore, but you want to lie to yourself about this. Look at that, Seven of Swords. You're lying to yourself about being ready for something, and you're so ready, it's not even funny. I feel like there's going to have to be some sort of what's happening here? I'm being told you're going to be given a very specific, maybe a few specific instances where the universe is going to show you how ready you are for something, because it's going to be a case where you think that you're not made for something, and then you go into an environment, or you meet somebody, or you have a conversation, or something happens, and then you recognize and realize, oh, I'm actually very much qualified for this. I'm actually very much ready for whatever this role is. Why am I here? You're going to come into this realization very soon. So the answer is yes, absolutely yes. There is absolutely no doubt. The only doubt here is from you, and the only doubt here is any insecurities you may have, or any, little words people have told you, little stupid conversations people have told you about, taking some other option, taking some other route, or oh, it's never going to happen for you because you've only been here XYZ amount of times, or have done this. The only thing doubting you is you, and whatever people you've allowed to let you doubt yourself here, pile 3. And it's an absolute yes. It's an absolute yes. I'm not even going to argue this. I'm not going to look for anything else. The only problem here is that you don't value yourself enough. So I feel like the universe really does want you to do this, and to stop lying to yourself about this, because once you stop lying to yourself, look, we have the world. We have the world. We have the world. So I'm just going to leave it here, pile 3, because I feel like if I keep talking to you, I'm going to get mad at how much you don't see how much of a yes and how ready you are for this. But yeah, this is where I leave it. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like a shorter form version of my yes, no readings, I will leave the links in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Hello, pile 4. If you chose the rose quartz, then we have a reading here for you on your yes, no reading. I usually do these a little bit more short form, but I've been called to do a longer form because people have been asking for it, but also just to dive a little bit more deeper into why your question is a yes or a no. We're going to start with these cards to see what the subject matter is, or any other themes that are going to come through. Then we're going to get a yes, no, and then we're going to do the tarot to see what else you need to know. So we have the dog. This is so cute. So you got the dog. Some of you could be you're the dog, or just dogs are amazing and great and you could love them. Or you might have one, or you might need one. If this is a yes, no question about a dog, I guess this will be your thing. You also have 30. You are an original, innovative thinker, and excellent communicator. You have a great talent for using creativity to convey your ideas, and your optimistic attitude has an uplifting effect on others. I am imaginative. You know what's funny? In the current year that I am recording this, I think year of the dogs are turning 30. Most year of the dogs are turning 30, which is very interesting, because it is currently year of the dragon, and usually when you turn 30, it'll be like the opposite Chinese year of yours. So for some of you, you could have just turned 30 in your year of the dog. That's just for those of you who need confirmation, or this may be about somebody who is this age, not everybody. And then for some of you, of course, you're just asking about a dog. You could also be asking about friends or loyalty. Some of you are asking about loyalty, but we're taking dog as a positive here. Let's go ahead and get your yes, no answer for this particular pile. Continue manifesting this. So it's a yes, but it's like it's coming. Like it'll continue manifesting and it'll show up. I feel like there's a reason you're not having this yet. I'm gonna get another card. Trust, you already know. Yeah, you already know this is happening. You already know this is going to be manifested. For some of you, this is something that you actually have to actively work towards in order for it to happen. So it's not just a yes, no. It's a matter of how much work you put into it and what's going on. For example, and I don't always like this example because I don't know, but if you're dating and you're not actively looking for people, like if all you're doing is staying in the house, not going out anywhere, not going out on the weekends to meet people or getting on the apps at least to meet people, you're wondering like when your partner's going to come in. You know, well, they're not going to come in if they don't know you're out there. So it's like that kind of question. Or same thing if you're looking for a job. If you're not actively applying to like whatever job you want, you're not going out on interviews, job interviews, etc., then it won't come. So if you keep working towards this, it'll happen. If you're not, same thing. For some of you, you're asking, like, for example, and I get this question so much. People ask me, oh, will I ever be a millionaire or a billionaire or whatever? And I'm like, well, are you saving up money? Do you have investments? Are you saving more money than you're spending? It's that kind of question that I get a lot from people, because people do ask me this. But yeah, I feel like whatever this is, it's a yes as long as you're on track for it. Like people who want to build muscle. Are you hitting the gym? Are you having your protein? So it's not really a yes, no. It's more like yes, but you have to work toward it. Yes, but you know, you already know where the results are going to be. So let's go ahead and get more. It's a very realistic answer, pile 4. Let's go ahead and get more cards for you. We have overrate your intuition. Some of you, you're actually not using your intuition enough for this. If you were to tap into your intuitive nature, if you were to meditate a little bit more, get a little bit more, if you have like a life coach, or if you actively seek, you know, tarot readings for certain advice or intuition or guidance, if you would listen to it a little bit more or listen to the really weird hunches, I feel like you would actually get either faster or better results, or you would get to this yes a lot faster. Or I don't know, some of you, you're not picking up on like the intuitive hints that your guides or the universe is sending you, because it may seem a little bit out of the ordinary, or it may seem like a quote cheat code, but it's kind of like you're meant to take that in order to get there faster. And it's not anything bad or negative. We're not, by cheat code, I don't mean to actually cheat. It's more like, you know, it's meant to get you there faster with like half of the effort. Some of you, you're just not listening to your intuition, which is trying to help you here. And then we also, okay, 2 more cards. You are living poetry, and a collaboration of the souls. There's somebody out there who's meant to help you out on this. I feel like you haven't met them yet, or maybe you have and you're not taking their advice. Some of you, you already know the answer and somebody has already told you what this answer is and you're not taking their advice. Maybe it's me, and if so, I love you, pile 4. But I can't really tell you anything because I get the same thing. I'll get intuitive advice or intuitive hints and I'll be like, let me not take it. I don't know why I do that, because I'm here telling you to do it, but yet I don't do it because I'm human. Maybe I like to suffer. I don't know. And with you are living poetry, for a lot of you, this is interesting. So, the way you're meant to go about doing this is different from everybody else, not just because you're meant to get there faster or slower or whatever your intuition's telling you, you're meant to do it that way. But you're also kind of meant to create something from this. You're meant to, for example, the journey it takes you to get there could be like a guidebook for other people. Like you're kind of meant to get inspiration to help other people on your way there, if that makes sense. Like part of the reason it's taking a little bit longer than you would like is because you're meant to really cherish this moment, either for yourself, because you know it's like, and I get this sometimes before people are about to jump into like the biggest era of their life. This is the last time you will be doing this. So those of you looking for a partner, this is the last time you're going to be single. So really enjoy it. Have all the fun, have all the awful dates, date all the kind of people you know you're never really going to want to settle down with, because the next one is going to be a big one. It's going to be the important one. It's going to be the one you settle down with. And for some of you, same thing about moving somewhere. You're taking more time here because you may not be back to where you currently are, at least not permanently. You know, this might be the last time you actually live here, so it's going to take you some time before you go move elsewhere. Same thing with career, whatever it is. Like for some of you, this is the last time you're going to do this. With living poetry, it's kind of like you're building up the you're building up the experiences for your memoirs, essentially. Not saying that you're going to write a memoir, but if you could, this is what it would be. Or you're meant to gain experience so that when it's time for you to tell your stories, teach people about this, you will know exactly what to tell them. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards though. And for some of you, you haven't met the person that you're meant to do this with yet. For some of you, you need like a partner or somebody to like give you an opportunity. You're meant to do something with somebody. Because you on your own, I'm not saying you couldn't do it on your own, but like somebody is going to have a different perspective or even the better connections here. We have cave, retreat. Some of you are afraid. I'm kind of getting fear from this. Like, you know you're meant to go somewhere, but you're afraid that you're not going to come back out. Because I'm seeing like in a video game where you know if you enter something, you're going to have to save and not going to be able to come back out. Like in any of those games like Pokemon or what else? Who else does this? When you go into a cave and you can't leave unless you have an escape rope. That's what I'm seeing. That's very interesting that very specific analogy came through. Because once you go in, you can't come out. Or if you do come out, you're going to have to start all over. We have coins, abundance. For some of you, this has to do with money. For a lot of you, once you meet the right people, you'll become more abundant, whatever that may mean. So if it is like a romantic partnership, like you're going to make a lot more money with your person, or you combine your incomes and you have more money. It could be a friend. It could be a friend that, you know, again, if it's like a business, they know how to make money in different ways than you do, or they have like the skills that you need. We also have pyramid mystery. A lot of you, you're kind of afraid of the unknown. What part of you is afraid of your own intuition? I don't think you fear intuition in general because you're here, right? You're here because you believe in something outside of that. But for some of you, you're afraid of your own intuition because you know once you tap into your own truth, into your own third eye, you're afraid of what else is there. And I've mentioned this before in other readings, but it's like, how can you expect to be intuitive if you're afraid of the truth? And what is your truth? Why are you afraid of your own truth? I think you have to ask yourself that. We also have key, freedom. Yeah, for a lot of you, you're looking for freedom from something. Some of you are looking for freedom from the current life you have, or freedom from whatever it is that you have going on. Maybe even freedom from mysteries is what I'm hearing. Like some of you are tired of living in the dark and you want to live in constant light, in constant truth, and the constant whatever this is. A lot of you just need a lot of enlightenment because this is my pile of people. Either you're afraid of your intuition, or you're afraid of leveling up your intuition, or you're afraid of whatever is going on here. I think this is why you call yourself imaginative, because some people, when somebody's very intuitive, they like to say, oh, that's just your imagination. Our imagination is kind of tied to our intuition though, just slightly. Not exactly, but like they're like in the rooms right next to each other, so they kind of borrow from each other a lot. And you see this a lot with people who are very imaginative. I mean, it used to be that it would be our fiction writers of the past who kind of predicted our future, unfortunately, especially for a lot of those post-apocalyptic writers and post-apocalyptic books and stuff. They were seeing this in their fictional world before it even became a reality. And sometimes reality does take inspiration from fiction. That's coming through very strongly here. So for a lot of you, I think you're afraid that if you tap into your intuition, some of the things that you think are dreams or that you think are fake are actually going to become a reality. No, sometimes that's just your own intuition giving you a warning of what not to become or what to avoid. So it all depends on where you are here. And I say this because, you know, there's a lot of people who just will block out certain things from their life. And I'm not saying that you're meant to tap back into that if you feel that you don't need to. But it's more like, don't be afraid of your own gut instinct here. I know and have worked with people like this. You know, my friends who are not very spiritual, they get so freaked out by the spiritual whenever I start bringing up tarot and my intuitive things. Some people fully embrace it. And then some people are just terrified of it. It's like, oh, that's cool. Let me change the subject. You know, they'll change the subject right away. And for the life of me, I don't understand why. Sometimes it's themselves being afraid, and sometimes, of course, it's like an energy around them, an entity, or like even somebody who told them not to believe any of that. One of the reasons I never really got into tarot fast enough was because I remember overhearing my grandmother say once not to believe the cards or to believe what they say. And I remember being a child hearing that, and I guess that shut me down to tarot for a long time until I reluctantly gave in, like, well, I think it was in my 20s. I must have been well into my 20s. And even then, I shut it down, and then now I'm here doing it again, and I'm so glad I do. Granted, I don't need tarot, but it's fun. You know, it's, look at these beautiful cards, look at the beautiful imagery, and look at all the synchronicities that are happening here for you, pile 4. I feel like I'm getting off track, so let's go ahead and move on to the tarot. So let's see what exactly you need to work on besides your intuition and this one other person who's coming in. That is going to get you to this a lot faster, because it's already a yes. I think you're just wondering when, where, how, why. So let's go ahead and use my... We're using a Shadowscapes, because speaking of tarot, this was my first deck. My first deck was never... I still haven't really had a Rider-Waite deck. I don't like the imagery. I don't like how crude it looks. I don't like the colors. I know they're important, and I know the symbology, and that was how I learned. I would get books that had those cards, but I hated it. Like, I've grown to appreciate it, but my first deck was this one. So pile 4, we have strength. Yeah, you need to overcome certain obstacles within yourself or within your life. We have the 8 of Cups, and you've kind of taken the passion out of this. I feel like it's become a little bit like you've lost passion for whatever this is. And the 7 of Pentacles. For some of you, you're wondering if it's better to just give up, because even though it was a yes in the oracles, the way I meant to take these cards, if there's more upright, then it's a yes, and if there's more downward, it's a no. So I feel like some of you are wavering. Like, maybe you're even wondering if you should give this up or if it's worth it. I'm hearing it is worth it, but you also have to ask yourself if you're in the right state of mind to be putting an effort toward this right now. You may have to put this on hold. It all depends, because right now you've lost passion for it, or you've kind of run out of gas, if you will, for this particular thing that you're asking about. And I get it. It's like people, again, if we're taking the example of dating, people really do want to go out there and meet their soulmate, meet the person they're going to meet somebody that they want to commit to. But maybe right now is not the best time for them to be dating or taking out their options, because they need to work on themselves, or they need to focus on their family, their finances, their goals, whatever it is. Like, they need to focus on something else. So it might be time for a break, but it's not exactly a no. Because the card that is upright is a major arcana, and the cards that are downright are minor arcana. So in the long run, yes. Short term, it might be time for a break. It might be time for a pause. Whatever this is, you know, just let it sit for a minute and come back to it when you're ready to give it your all. When you're ready to come back with it with a lot more emotion. When you're ready to have when you have more energy for it, essentially. Let's go ahead and get more cards. Same thing with a business. Maybe right now business is slowing down, and that's because you're meant to focus on something else. You know, I feel like my business picks up whenever I'm like not focusing on it at all, whether it's like a really busy work week, or I'm just on vacation, or I'm doing something else. That's when it picks up the most. It's actually kind of annoying, but I'm grateful for it regardless. So we have the 6 of Wands. Yeah, for some of you, you're not seeing the results you need to see right now, or it's not as fruitful as it usually is. 3 of Cups, and you're kind of being influenced by, I'm hearing, by people, and I'm wondering why that is. You could also be busy partying. For example, I'm kind of recording this during the holiday season, the winter holiday season where I live, and you know, right now there's a lot of holiday parties. Me personally, I have a lot of birthdays towards the end of December and early January. Lots of Sagittarius and Capricorn and even Aquarius energy. I have a lot of Aquarius friends. So I'm busy with all that. So right now, anything that I would usually do, I put on the back burner. We have the Hermit. Maybe some of you just really do need a break. You need to focus on yourself before you can put your all into this, because you do have certain things that you need to overcome. We have Justice. Yeah, balance. That's next to the Hermit. You need to pour more into yourself. You've been focusing on everybody else, and before you even get back out there, let's say you have been doing the holiday thing and doing everything for your family. Before you even get back to work, you need to focus on you. So it's like the middle ground is you. You need to put your focus back on you before you step into this. We have the High Priestess. And for a lot of you, again, your intuition is trying to talk to you and you're just not, either you're not listening or you're afraid of it or whatever is going on. Let's get one last card. We have the Ace of Swords. There's a new idea or a new perspective wanting to come in, again, that you're not seeing. And for some of you, I'm hearing you're going to have a conversation with a particular person. I don't know how close they are to you, but it's going to be a conversation with a person. It's going to change your perspective on something because you needed to hear it that way. That's how your intuition is going to come through. It's going to come through a person, maybe a Libra, maybe a Virgo, or around this time of the year if you're close to that time of the year. Also Leo. But I feel like your intuition is going to come through somebody else because you need to hear it from them since you're kind of ignoring your intuition right now. And back of the deck, yeah, Knight of Cups. For a lot of you, if we're talking about love, if we are talking about love, you need to take a break. If you're not already with somebody, if you're already with somebody, your intuition could be coming through your partner. But for those of you who are single right now, take a break right now from dating. Whoever you're meant to be with will find you regardless of whether you're taking a break or not. So, don't worry about that. But I feel like right now it's doing you more harm than good to be dating around or trying to get with people or whatever it is that you're doing, because you need to work on yourself. You need to, with passion here, and I say this because this has actually happened to me. I'll be dating and suddenly I just don't feel like, my quote Empress energy. I just don't feel like going out. I don't feel like being flirty. I'm not in my, lover girl mood. So it would be unfair for me to seek people when I'm in that energy. However, if somebody is really meant for you, you will feel it right away. If somebody is really meant for you, regardless of where you are, they're going to naturally bring that out in you. And I feel like for a lot of you, what you're actually looking for in love is chemistry, and it's just not there with a lot of people because you don't really have it. Don't try to force chemistry where there isn't. What's underneath this? 10 of Wands. Yeah, right now you're busy anyway with other stuff. You're busy with so much. So much is happening, or it's about to happen. And it's about to happen pretty quick too. Yeah, you're going to be busy. And I feel like you're meant to be busy. So this person, whenever they do show up, if they really want you in their life, they're going to, one, be patient with you. They're going to wait out whatever you're busy with. Two, they're going to help you. Like, they're meant to help you out with something. If you say, oh, well, I've got this, and do this, and this to do, they're going to tag along and be like, okay, yeah, I'll go run errands with you. I'll go, do this for you. Do you need help with this, and that? Somebody who's meant to be in your life will be in your life regardless. And you're going to have a hard time saying no to them because, like I said, there's true chemistry, there's true compatibility, there's true friendship there, and trust above all. So if this was more romantic leaning, which I feel like it might have been because this is the rose quartz, you needed to hear this. But regardless, you will hear intuitive advice from somebody that you needed to hear from. But this is where I'm going to leave it pile 4. I feel like it's straightforward. This is mostly a yes, but you might need to either take a break from it or give up on it altogether. For a lot of you, you're not really going to give up on it. I feel like it's just going to be a break until you're ready to get back out there. But lots of strong major arcana energy here. Your intuition is trying to call to you. Maybe tap back into that a little bit. But this is where I leave it. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you would like shorter form yes/no videos, I do have them on my channel. And if you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 5. If you chose the charoite, then we have a reading here for you on your yes/no question. This is my longer form of my yes/no readings. I usually do them short form, like 5 minutes or less, but I decided to get a little bit deeper with it this time around. So already I'm getting a song for you, a channeled song for you, and it's, I don't know what it's called. I think it's called Creepin'. And the lyrics go, I don't want to know. So some of you may not actually want to know whether this is a yes or no, but I feel like you're here because you need to know, or like it's better to know than to not know. So some of you could be here reluctantly. I think it's called Creepin'. The one I know is sung by The Weeknd. I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's like a cover of something, but let's go ahead and get started with your reading. So we're going to do the oracles. These 2 cards are going to give us a nature of what this question may be, or anything you may have to know about this particular question that you are asking. And then we're going to go into some oracles and then the tarot to confirm the yes, no. So we have the Fox, which is interesting. This came out in another pile. We have 8. I am successful. Your talent for setting and reaching goals is like no other. You are self-sufficient and capable of achieving your ambitions. 8 representing the ebb and flow, the infinite loop of creation. So, I mean, very positive energy already. A lot of you are a lot more capable of this than you believe. You're very intelligent, pile 5. You're very intelligent, or at the very least, I'm kind of getting a combination of like that intelligence and intuition that I talk a lot about on my channel. For those of you who don't know, I believe intelligence and intuition are the same thing, divine intelligence, if you want to call it that way. But not even just that. I feel like a lot of you, you're very capable of success here. You're very successful already, or you will be. Regardless, I feel like it's inevitable for you because you make it a habit. Your habits lead towards success. So depending on the situation, I feel like you have to, I'm hearing some of you have to be careful with that because you're capable of literally manifesting anything. Maybe even things that are not great for you, because I do see this with people who manifest really well. The fox here I'm being told to take as the magician. Because some of you may manifest things that are actually not that great for you, or you may think they're great for you in the moment, and they are, but then you realize that you may want something more. Or even for some of you, manifestation isn't enough. It's like you want a deeper meaning. This is such interesting energy that I'm getting, and I feel like I've felt it before. Like it's like when you see millionaires, billionaires who have everything, like what do they want? They themselves don't know. It's like they know they have the world at their hands, but they're looking for something deeper. So let's go ahead and answer your question. This is the yes/no oracle. This will give us the more direct answer. We have the opportunity is approaching. You're trying to ride out a wave is what I'm hearing. Or you're waiting for the right time. It's definitely divine timing, but like I said, you're like on board for success. You're on track for success. This feels like a yes. Let me go ahead and get another card. And like I said, we're going to confirm this in the tarot. Trust you already know. That's funny because the song I was channeling, I don't want to know, but you also already know. And I don't know why there's like a feeling of like for some of you, it's a little bit of a doom kind of feeling. Like maybe you already know what the answer is and that's what's bothering you because you know things so well. Like you have to trust your intuition here. Your gut has been telling you this for a long time, regardless of whether it's a yes or a no here, because I'm actually not getting one or the other. I think it depends on what you fear the outcome will be. It's very much one of those things like whatever you fear you will attract. It's really because whatever you are paying the most attention to, whatever you are sending the most heavy energy towards, whatever you're focusing on, whatever it is that you are giving a lot of attention to is what will happen. So if it's a bunch of negative things, then it's going to be something negative. If it's a bunch of positive things, it's something positive. So I feel like for a lot of you, you have to get in this habit of focusing on the outcome that you want, or at the very least the positive, the positive outcome for everybody. Because you have a lot of power here, pile 5. Like I thought some previous piles had a lot of energy, but this one specifically, like you already know, so you may not even need to be at these readings. You just like to come here for confirmation. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards just to get more answers regarding this, because I feel like, and this has been the case for a lot of these piles, like it's not about the yes or the no, it's about the where are you at? How are you doing? And maybe some of you don't want to hear that. So, lots of strong energy today, pile 5. We have cut the cords of doubt. Yeah, cut the doubt. But also don't focus on the doubt. Don't focus on the doubts. Don't focus on anything that is going to distract you from the outcome that you want. Let's get another card. We have change maker, make waves. A lot of you. You're on board for success because you're meant to bring something new. You're meant to do something here that is different from everybody. Whatever this specific, it feels like a life purpose or like something that you have agreed to do before you were reincarnated into this life, something along those lines. I feel like this is very much fate at play. You already know you were meant to do this. You're meant to bring a change into the world or in your field or whatever it is that you do. But you have to cut the cords of doubt. For some of you, I'm hearing you're meant to bring a change into your life. Like you're meant to stop the endless cycle of whatever it is. Because with the number 8, I am seeing the infinity loop. Also, if you're a life path 8, this is just, double, triple confirmation. Because life path 8s, they are very hardworking. The ones I know, it doesn't matter how young, experienced, or whatever it is that they are. They're very hardworking. I have a lot of respect for number 8s because some of my closest friends are that number. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. But yeah, you're here to bring a change. So don't doubt yourself. Even when it seems that, honestly, the only thing getting in the way here of this being whatever answer you want it to be is yourself. Let's go ahead and get more cards and then we'll go into the tarot. We have renewal, butterfly. So you are meant to go through some change. Well, some of you are currently going through it and you know. And then some of you are, like, you're like on the precipice of it. Because I'm seeing all these wings. It's like you're spreading your wings. I'm seeing how a butterfly, you know, sprouts its wings. And for some of you, you're actually meant to, with the fox, I'm thinking of a foxy person, a foxy lady. Some of you, you're meant to glow up as well. Because to me, a butterfly symbolizes a glow up. Because, you know, a caterpillar is... I mean, nothing against caterpillars, they're very cute, but a butterfly is much more pleasing to the eye. Okay, we have protection. You're very protected. Don't be afraid to manifest whatever it is that you need, because if you're trying to manifest something that is not for you, and maybe you've done this in the past, you have learned and now you are divinely protected. I think you are meant to mismanifest something a few times just to really understand the gravity of your power, or to understand what happens if you're not aware of what happens, but you are protected going forward, or at the very least you know how to protect yourself now. The Shen ring here could be an important symbol, or maybe a particular ring that you wear is important here as well. Some of you might wear jewelry for protection. I know I used to do that. I used to wear a lot of crystals, a lot of bracelets. I still kind of do sometimes depending on the occasion. I used to wear a lot of rings. I used to wear a lot of necklaces was my thing. Maybe you should, maybe you still should. We have owl wisdom. For a lot of you, like I said, you're just so wise. You're so smart with the fox and the owl. We have the spider, creation, number 22. For those of you who are partial to Athena, the goddess Athena of wisdom, I feel like she is with you. Again, you're very intelligent. But you are meant to create something. You're protected. And very wise, back of the deck. Change maker, make waves. There needs to be a change here. I feel like you're aware of that. I feel like I'm telling you things that you already know. There needs to be a change here. To get the answer that you want, there needs to be a change. I don't know if it's from you though, because I feel like if you knew how to do the change, you already would, or you would have already gone through that. If you're waiting for things to change, whether it's from an environment, a place, a person, whatever the case may be, I feel like the change has to happen, because you've already done everything in your power here. Now you just have to learn how to sit back. I'm being called to the number 3 here. So some of you have to learn how to be in your Empress energy. Just allow things to happen. And they will happen in the time that they have to happen. You know, the opportunity is approaching. So for a lot of you, this feels like a yes if you want it to be a yes, or a no if you feel like it has to be a no. Because I'm not being given one or the other. It's all what you want it to be. And that's weird, because I don't really say that in a lot of readings. Maybe you don't like that answer. I do want to read from the book for the Shen ring though, just because I'm trying to learn up on my Egyptian gods, and I know this, I want to say this is, well, I don't know who it is. Like, I'm not going to, I know the meanings of the god. I know about their meanings and energy as opposed to their physical appearance. To me, the physical appearance can change. So let me find that really quick. So the Shen ring is symbolic of the concept of eternity and protection. Its circular form with a horizontal rod represents infinite time and cycles, reflecting the Egyptians' belief in the eternal continuity of life, death, and rebirth. The Shen symbolizes divine protection and favor, often encircling royal names and objects. Spiritually, it signifies cosmic harmony and alignment with Maat, the principle of universal order and truth in Mesopotamia. The ring and rod symbolize divine authority and protection, often associated with gods and goddesses who wielded power and ensured order in the cosmos. So for a lot of you, you're going through a rebirth, and you know this. This is very much like a spiritual renewal for a lot of you, and through this you are not only regaining certain wisdom, it's like the wisdom you already knew you are enforcing and kind of adding to that, but you're also gaining new wisdom, and the wisdom you're getting is coming from others as well. It's like, of all the people you've met, of all the things that you've done, of all the things that you've gone through, you're reassessing everything and kind of rewriting. well, not rewriting, you're just adding to the things you already know, and maybe rewriting certain things in a way that is more legible to you. Maybe some of you are literally dealing with the Akashic records, which again, this feels similar to a previous pile. And it's weird that I remember a previous pile, the energy of it, but I don't remember which pile it was. So if you're coming from that one and you know what I'm talking about, then this is just confirmation. The spider, you're creating something. You're creating something because there needs to be a change. For a lot of you, this could be something, it could be like an actual work for those of you who are writing something to help others, or maybe even creating content online to help others. You're bringing in some sort of change. It feels so important though, and it feels powerful. So I'm really curious as to what you are doing here, pile 5. What else? Mot. So Mot is a goddess of justice in Egyptian mythology. Specifically, she is the one who weighs the feather, which is meant to represent the souls, the purity of the soul. So I feel like you have really great judgment. You're really good at being able to tell who's who, what's what they do, and whether it's like pure or not. Some of you are really good at looking through people to the point where it's kind of scary, to the point where you know how there's always people that are new into like an area and everybody loves them and everybody just likes them, and you're always that one person who's like, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Which, you know, same. I'm very much that person. If someone gives me creepy vibes, it may take years, but it will eventually come out as to why I didn't like them. I can't even give examples because, you know, but like it always happens. So I feel like a lot of you have that kind of ability. So I'm hearing to be careful because you are protected. You are protected. But the wisdom you wield, once people know about it, it's like they understand that they have to up their game, if that makes sense. They'll understand that they have to up their game. And I hate saying this, but I've had to say this in a previous pile or something. Act a lot dumber than you are, because you're very smart. So acting a little dumb, you just act normal. Just act normal, pile 5. I hope this is making sense. I feel like I'm just channeling. So let's move on to the tarot. We're gonna get another yes no solidifier, I guess, with the tarot. But for a lot of you, you're absolute manifestors. It's actually kind of scary for some people once they realize this. And it's weird that I keep talking about how people know this about you. But let's go ahead and get the tarot. So I'm going to do 3 cards to get the confirmation of whether this is a yes or no. And I'm not really getting any type of subject matter either. I just feel like this is more about you and why you need this to be a yes or no. Also understanding that you can make this be a yes or no, which depending on what favors you, which is weird. It's like I'm trying to help you make a decision. Okay, so we have the High Priestess. God, you're so intuitive, pile 5. Why are you here? I mean, thank you for being here. Of course, I'm very grateful that you're here and clicked on my video for confirmation. But at the same time, it's like you already know, but you don't want to know. This is being afraid of the truth. Yeah, justice. What did I say? I meant goddess of justice. We had Mot and Athena. Maybe you have to make a very pivotal decision. I feel like you do, and this is why you're here, because it wouldn't hurt to get, you know, free opinion strength. God damn. What decision are you making, pile 5? Because not only are all of them upright, meaning yes, but these aren't even... These cards symbolize things going in whichever way you need them to, because the High Priestess is intuition, which isn't a yes or a no. It means tap into your intuition. Justice is, again, it's like neutral. It depends. Are things balanced? Are things going well? Are things being, you know, justified here? Is this a matter of karma? And then strength, overcoming certain situations, but also being brave. So this seems like a yes. I kind of want to say it's a yes for this pile, but that's not the important issue here. The important issue here is, or the heart of the matter is, that you have a lot more power here. You're very discerning. I think it's asking you to use your discernment regarding this situation, because regardless, you're going to be fine. Regardless, you are going to be okay. I don't know what it is that you are, or what it is that you do, or even what the system's in place here. Maybe you're asking on behalf of somebody else, but you're going to be fine. You're very powerful, especially in this case. Let's get more cards. I forget which deck it is. It's the Greek one, I think, the Mythos Tarot. It actually has Athena as justice, I want to say, or judgment. Because I'm kind of feeling the judgment card here. Okay, we have the Hierophant, Magician. My goodness. These are all major arcana, pile 5. Also, I said my godness. I meant my goodness. We have the Four of Cups. Your emotions are kind of getting in the way of this. But the Four of Cups could easily be doubt. It could be the doubt that you can progress with this. It could be the doubt that things are happening here. You're a lot more powerful in this situation. So is it a yes or a no? It's up to you, pile 5. It's up to you whether you want this to be a yes or a no. The power is completely in your hands. And the only thing getting in the way of this is your own feeling of doubt. It's like your own, quite literally, your emotions could be getting in the way. You have the Nine of Pentacles, because you are capable of being happy. For a lot of you, we could be talking about being happy on your own or being happy while independent. I feel like your own, like you are being called into question here about what it is that makes you happy. What is it that you want? Because you're capable of having anything. And maybe you don't even like that answer. We have the Page of Wands. What sparks your fire? What calls to your soul? And the Nine of Swords. And what takes away your anxiety? Like, what gives you peace? Because for a lot of you, you've done a lot of work. I can feel that you've done a lot of work. You've gotten to this place not because you were born this way, by no means. I feel like you've done a lot of work on yourself, that combined with being in the right environment at the right place at the right time. But again, you've done the work to get yourself there. So what is it that you fear? And I'm honestly channeling this. Your guides are asking, why are you, and I kind of hate this because it's awful for my channel, but they're asking, why are you asking this? You already know the answer. And even though it's wonderful that you are supporting people with your same ability to intuitively gain this knowledge, you already know what you have to do. What is giving you peace and what is giving you passion? And what is keeping you from feeling negative emotions? Because it's kind of like every now and then you get a little, it feels like sadness. You get a little sad, or you get a little feeling of lack of self-worth. There's something very small eating away at you. And I feel like it could be doubt. It could also be knowing that you have to leave something that you don't want to leave behind, or have to say no to something that you would have otherwise said yes to, because there's just something pivotally not compatible with your life or with the things you want to do. Back of the deck, we have the Lovers. For a lot of you, this could be about a relationship. If it's not about a relationship, it's again, what makes you whole? You're not asking yourself what makes you happy. You're not asking yourself, what is it that gives you passion? You already know what the answer to this is. And you already know, for some of you, you could be looking for love and you know it's out there. And maybe it's not right here, right now, or with the person you're with. And for some of you, you already know that there is somebody that you adore and that you have to, for some of you, I'm hearing you have to take a chance on somebody, not because there's, not because you need somebody, but because you've allowed some past situation to take control of how you view at life a little bit too much. So I guess it depends on what the situation. We could be talking about two people here, honestly. Maybe you're trying to decide between one person or the other. We have the Queen of Wands reversed. The Wheel of Fortune. Oh gosh, some of you are resisting love big time because somebody lied to you in the past and made you feel that you were not worthy. Okay, that's for the people who came here about a love question. And it's kind of like, even the universe is looking at like whoever this person who broke your heart or damaged you, they're looking back at them and they're like, they love you so much, but they're looking back at you and saying, really? That one? And they love you so much for having a big heart. But it's like, some of you are being kept where you are. You're being kept stagnant and stuck because of your fears from a previous person who probably would have loved it if you stayed this way. So why are you staying this way? If it's not about love, again, it's about your career, your family, whatever. Like somebody here would love you to stay the way that you were, you know, a smaller more fearful version of yourself. They would love it if you stayed that way, but why are you staying that way? You know that's not you, and you know you're not meant to do that for anybody. So don't keep yourself small for anybody. We've got way too much powerful energy in this particular reading. Like, just look at all the major arcana. It's kind of ridiculous. And even these other cards, they're all about joy to some extent. It's like, don't allow anything that takes away your joy to stay here. So it's not a matter of yes or no. It's a matter of what you want, because you know you can take out anything that is not making you happy, and you're meant to choose whatever is going to make your life easier, happier, more fulfilled, more complete. Because the Lovers is essentially a card of completion. Of course, here we see it through the bringing together of two people, but it could easily also be the bringing together of two parts of yourself. The part of yourself that knows you deserve this, and the part of yourself that knows you will go after something. So pile 5, before I make this any more confusing, I think I'm going to leave it here. It's all in your hands, whether this is a yes or a no, because that's not the point of this. I feel like if some of you might be saying yes to something and no to something else, and maybe both of these options are very heavily on your mind, therefore it's kind of like a little confusing. So it's up to you. And if you would like to choose another pile for a clearer, like a much clearer answer, you can, but I'm going to leave it here because I think this is meant to just remind you of who you are, because it's not about yes or no, it's about what you can manifest. And you know you can manifest better. You know that you're growing every day. You're very dedicated to yourself, and by to yourself I mean to your connection, your relationship with spirit and source. Beautiful energy, but this is where I leave it. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, pile 5. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. I will leave a link to my shorter form yes no pick a cards, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 6. Yeah, this is pile 6. So if you chose the fluorite, then we have your reading here for you, your yes/no question. I usually do this a lot shorter, but I decided to go a little deeper with a longer form of this reading. So we're going to look at these cards to see what the nature of this question is, or anything you may need to know about this. And then we're going to look at the oracles, and then the tarot for confirmation. So let's go ahead and get the cards. We have the Lily, number 30, the Lily. And number 30. Okay, so clearly 30 is a number here for you, pile 6. You are an original, innovative thinker and an excellent communicator. You have a great talent for using creativity to convey your ideas, and your optimistic attitude has an uplifting effect on others. I am imaginative. So there's something rather beautiful about your energy, pile 6, that's for sure. And it's interesting because the number 6 is a number in numerology of people who like to really be about their family, their close group of friends. They're very much nurturers. I say this as a life path 6, technically 33, but I also claim the 6 here. So for a lot of you, we're dealing about, I feel like we're talking about people. I feel like this particular pile, we're dealing with people, maybe even if not romantic, then something with friendships or something with family. Very interesting. Let me go ahead and get your answer. Let's get your yes/no answer here. Your energy is very beautiful, pile 6. Let me just say that. I love whatever this is. It's very uplifting for sure. I mean, this is what it says, that you're very uplifting, but I feel like this, they actually mean it. Like your guides, the universe here actually means it when they say this. We have your magic is potent. Okay, so that's just, yeah, whatever you have going on, pile 6, you have a very strong energy, a very strong aura, if you will. Like you have a very powerful magnetism to you. That's what it is. But not just that, I feel like you're really good at making people feel good about themselves. So we also have, it's on its way to you. So something here is on its way to you. This very much feels like a yes. And maybe some of you have even done a little bit of magic, or a little bit of, intentions out into the universe to get whatever this is. You didn't really need to try too hard. I feel like you have a natural, I'm hearing riz. I'm hearing that some of you have a natural riz or charisma, or whatever the case is here. So and a genuine one too. This isn't the kind where, because I we all know that one person who likes to be fake just to get people to like them, or people who, just are a little bit more deceptive. I feel like you're not like that. Or even if people have accused you of being this way, you actually aren't, which is very interesting. Let's go ahead and get more cards for my pile 6. We have limitations inspire innovation. This is cute because it looks just like this color. I'm gonna leave it here. So you've had to go out of your way to do something very differently here, because I think whatever the question is at hand is that you are not used to this kind of energy. You're not used to this kind of situation, or you're not used to, for some of you, if we are talking about a person, you're not used to this kind of person. So you had to do something out of your character, or out of the, well, I don't know if it's out of your character, but it's like this one really stumbles you. Like you're very confused by this particular situation is what I'm hearing. So you've had to do something a little bit differently. We also have, integrate your knowing. Integrate your knowing. Yeah, like you really had to, you had to do some research. Foxes have been appearing in this entire reading a lot, by the way. Like in all of my decks, not just one or the other, because if you can see this clearly, I mean, it could look like a dog, but to me, I think it's a fox because of the bushy tail. But you've had to do your research. You've had to look around. You had to really, like, it's kind of like if you know how to play a game, you've been given a new level or a new unlockable thing, and you had to learn how to do this differently than everybody else. Like whoever crafted this particular thing, you kind of love the challenge here, or you like that you have to go out of your way to do something a little bit differently. Maybe something that you typically wouldn't do, but then you realize you actually do enjoy doing that. Very interesting energy. Back of the deck, we have the creator air. Yeah, like it stimulates you. Whatever this is, it stimulates you mentally. Because I keep hearing that you're scratching your head about this, and maybe this is why you're here. With this little fox as well, this is the number 9, so I'm thinking of the Hermit and the Tarot, Virgo energy. Virgos love a good, they love a good riddle. They love a good mental stimulation. They love a good puzzle, something along those lines. Maybe some of you really like that as well. Maybe you like unlocking certain things. Let me know what your favorite board game is, because I get the feeling that this would be my pile of people who love board games or riddles or crosswords or something along those lines. Let's get the rest of your cards though. This energy feels very similar to somebody I know. Very familiar, let's just put it that way. So if somebody I know is watching this, I know that you are now, I guess. Okay, not that I'll remember by the time this is over. Okay, so we've got Scorpio energy. Vigilance. Yeah, like I said, this is a riddle. You're having to solve something here. You could definitely be a Scorpio or have Scorpio, like strong Scorpio elements in your natal chart, whether it's rising, moon, Mercury, Venus. Like you could have, and Scorpios do love a good puzzle. Like they love a good riddle. They like to uncover mysteries, so I feel like this particular subject is a mystery to you. We have the Labyrinth Journey. Again, riddles, puzzles. What is puzzling you here, pile 6? That's what I want to know. We have Mirror, Reflection. Oddly enough, number 7. Oddly enough, whatever this is, it's very similar to you, and I think that's why you like it. It's like you finally found your match in something, whatever this is. If it's like a job, a career, you finally found something that you know you're going to have a good time in. It's going to pay you what you need, and it's going to be something that keeps you interested long term. If it's, like I said, for a lot of you, this could be a person, a relationship, or a friend circle, a circle of friends. It's like you finally found your person, your people, and you have loved every moment of it, is what I'm hearing. Because I feel like if this is a person, you've already known them enough that you know what's going on. We have Butterfly Renewal. Yeah, it's like sparked a renewal in you. Which is interesting because Scorpio energy is also that of the rebirth, because one of Scorpio's animals is the phoenix. Back of the deck, we have changes. You're going to be changed by this. I feel like whatever this is, it's meant to change your life for good. Because it's kind of like, let's say, how do I put that? I'm channeling something weird. It's like, let's say that the universe agreed to give you something that you would never get bored with every day, so that every day you have something to look forward to, that every day you have something that you, well, one, it both comforts you and stimulates you at the same time. I keep being shown like a book of riddles or puzzles or something, and it's like, or like a book of Sudoku or something, and it's like you get excited for it every day, because every day it'll be something different. It'll be similar but different, and you're excited for this. If this is a person, this is somebody that you don't get tired of, because whatever they are, whatever they do, like it's just your thing, and you didn't realize or recognize that this could be your thing. If it's a group of friends, same thing, like they're going to treat you the way you expect friends to treat you, and vice versa. They're going to love everything about you, you're going to love everything about them. It's just a lot of mutual liking in this particular pile. There's also a lot of reflecting energy, because not only do we have the card reflection, we also have these two numbers, 30 and 30. Maybe the both of you, if this is two people, maybe you are both 30. Or you could be the same ages, or the number 30 could be important. We also have 36, 16, 45, 52. Single numbers, we have 8, 7, 9. 8, 7, 9. 7, 8, 9. 7 might eat 9. That's, I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the tarot, because did I even answer your question? Is this a yes or a no? I'm feeling it's a yes. Whatever this is, it feels very much like it's going to be a yes, but it's mostly a yes. Also, there's a lot of green here. Lots of heart chakra energy, lots of love in this pile. Let's just put it that way. Whether it's platonic or romantic, it could definitely lean either way. But you have finally found a place that is meant for you. I don't want to say that it feels like home, because I feel like for a lot of you, home means something different. But it's like for you, love, both platonic and romantic, is something that doesn't bore you, or something that doesn't like make the spark go away, which is very interesting. You might have a Venus in Aries or a Venus in Libra, because as a Venus in Aries, I understand that. It's like, how can I not get bored with something every day, which I know seems awful. This is why Aries is in its detriment in Venus, like, because that's not how love should be. But for a lot of you, it's like you found something that calls to you. For some of you, it does feel like a life path, or a job of some kind. For example, that to me is what I do right now. I could do tarot readings every day and not get tired or bored of them, because they're always going to be different. Like, it doesn't matter who I read for, what the question is, what decks I use. I know it's going to be different. So I don't get tired of that. Wow, my ears started ringing. My right ear specifically. Okay, let's get affirmations for your yes, no. So I'm going to pick 3 cards. 3 upright, sorry. If there are more upright, it's a yes. If there are more reversed, it's a no. And if they contradict whatever was in the oracles, I'll explain why. Wow. King of Wands. Love it. Like I said, mental stimulation. King of Swords. Interesting. I like when these 2 kings come out. They're actually my favorite kings of all the ones in this deck specifically. And okay, these 2 wanted to come out. Judgment, the Hermit. Okay, so something here is on its way to you, and you know you're going to have control over it. Like, this seems like a 2-part question. Or like, maybe it's not all about the yes or the no, because I feel like, yeah, this feels like it's about somebody else, isn't it? Or somebody else, because you know you could say yes or no, but you're kind of afraid that they might say no, or that they might reject you or not. Maybe there's too much evidence to point that this might be a no, even though it feels like a yes. And it might also feel like, even though you're typically good at getting what you want, you might feel like you're not going to get what you want in this case. And why is that? Because this is technically a no. You're going about it the wrong way is what I'm hearing. Like I said, you have to do things differently. This is still a yes. But you can't do things the way you used to. With kings, the King of Swords reversed would be somebody who is very much more mentally... I don't want to say manipulative, but that's what comes through whenever I tap into this energy, or just like deception, or using a strategy. It's very much like, if we are talking about dating, it's like pretending to be something you're not, or just, pretending to be something you're not, when just to get something or to get somebody. You can't do that. You have to be very honest, because the King of Wands upright is a very honest and even blunt person. It's like, I'm not going to be something that I'm not. You have to be yourself. With the Judgment reversed and the Hermit reversed. For some reason, I'm taking the Hermit as you. Maybe you've been single for a long time, or maybe you've been on your own for a long time. Maybe you're just out of touch, or you're out of practice a little bit here, because it's like it's been a while since you've had to do this. And I feel like your old tricks aren't going to work, because they're not meant to. You've changed a lot, pile 6. I can see your past, and I know in the past you used to be very different, but you're not that way anymore. And you can't go back to your old ways because you're not your old self. You're a new person. And it's interesting that this is coming through. This feels like I'm giving advice to like one of my friends or something about dating. If you do decide to use your old ways, it's not going to work out. That's what I'm hearing. If you do decide to do things the old way, it's not going to work out. So this is up to you. You can do whatever you want. It feels like a yes, and it's on track to be a yes, but you could easily, well, maybe not easily. Let me get the rest of your cards. It's not that you could easily lose it. It's more like if you stay in an old mentality, it's not going to work out. Embrace the new you. Yeah, embrace the new you. If you're dating, yeah, be yourself. Don't be whatever you used to have to be in order to get somebody. Because this person, the situation, whatever this is, it's very different. Because this person has a lot more power, or they have as much power as you, and they're very aware of it. They're going to be able to see through you, essentially. I think you already know that too. That said, I don't think they wouldn't give you a second chance. It's kind of like this person's very forgiving. Okay, we have the Three of Pentacles reversed. We have the Ace of Swords. You have to think differently. You can't think back to your old ways, maybe in the past. Because the Three of Pentacles is kind of coming through as like casual dating here. Like you didn't even see it as, maybe you used to go out with people you weren't even emotionally invested in, which is kind of weird. Maybe you should just be with people. You used to just be with people because they were there, maybe as something physical, or maybe somebody to lean on. I'm getting like strong, what is it, Moon and Earth, which I love these people, but their negative side is that they understand, like, how do I say this without it sounding a little douchey? Because it is. Like, they understand that sometimes being around the right people will get them into the right things. And I feel like maybe in the past, either people have used you for this or you've used them for this. I guess it depends. And maybe you kind of picked up on these habits because of that. Maybe this was just the way you were brought up. You know, I know people who are brought up being told they have to be with certain kinds of people. They can only be with these people and not those people. Especially people who are like, you know, a little bit more on the, I don't want to say rich side, but I do see that a lot in like socioeconomic classes that are very far apart from each other. Or even like if you have a different background, for those of you who come from different ethnicities or different like I feel like that's been a thing for a good part of your life, pile 6. If not, at the very least you understand that. Maybe you actively chose to be around people who are just like you. I know people who just do that out of comfort. But you have to think differently in this case because, first of all, let's get more cards. You're not recognizing this, but keeping yourself cut off from a lot of other options has led to you being upset, is what I'm hearing. Has led to you feeling like you lack something because you were told to stay in a certain area and you weren't branching out. Yeah. We have, the Hangman. You're a changed person. You're different. You can't go back to how you used to be. You're not meant to. Maybe you want to. Maybe you're on that line. The Sun, yeah. You're going to flourish once you accept different things, is what I'm hearing. Or once you accept something that is outside the norm of whatever everybody else has told you. The Temperance. And this is going to be a little bit more far into the future. You're meant to heal from this. There's something you're meant to heal from, whatever this background is. This is like people not recognizing just how unhealthy the behaviors of either their upbringing, their past, or the people that were previously with them really were. I feel like either with this person, these new friends, whatever this new situation is, you're going to heal a lot. And I feel like, back of the deck, yeah, 10 of Cups. I feel like you're just looking for happiness. You're looking for happiness and you've looked for it in all the wrong places, or you weren't going to find it where you were because you're a different person. So it's like the rules have changed. But that said, everything I said in the oracle still stands. You're a very naturally pleasant person. Your energy is still wonderful. So everything I'm telling you, you know, it's just to remind you that you have been looking in the wrong places for a long time, and now you're looking in new places. And yeah, Justice reversed. You're gonna feel like it's not fair. that you haven't been listening to your intuition for some time now. And for a lot of you, if you've had like stagnancy in your life, because if you've had anything just not go the way you wanted to, if you were wondering why things weren't going your way for a while, it's because, again, you were not looking in the right places. You were not with the right people. You were placing too much emphasis. But I feel like you've already changed. Like you've already changed, or you're already on the other side of this. So I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm not even telling you this to feel bad about yourself or to remind you of your past that you yourself may not be very proud of. It's just that when it comes to this particular question that we're talking about right now, you have to think differently. You're meant to, because it's part of your growth process. It's part of your renewal. So it's a yes if you accept the change and go with the new you. It's a no if you want to remain how you used to be. It's a no if you want to keep using that very unemotional tactic that you used to do to just get ahead, as opposed to understanding what your heart is telling you right now. So it's up to you, pile 6. I'm just gonna tell you, you're doing great. I'm very proud. I'm very proud of you, pile 6. Like I don't want you to go back to what you used to be. And it's true, it wasn't fair what you had to go through, but you're a new person now. You're a much more free person, and I can feel it in your heart. It's a beautiful feeling. But I'm gonna leave it right here. I feel like I've said enough. If you need more clarity, you can look at other readings. I do have shorter form yes no videos that I will link in the description below. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. I am sending you all my best, and I know you'll make the right choice. I know you can do it, pile 6. Take care. Hello there, pile 7. If you chose the carnelian stone, then we have a reading here for you about your yes/no question. We're going to try and answer your question, whether it's a yes or no. I usually do these a lot more short form. I like to do them in under 5 minutes. But I decided to go a little bit deeper with the yes/no questions here. So we're going to look at these oracle cards to see the nature of your question. It could be the subject matter. It could be something about yourself that you need to understand. And then we're going to get a card from the yes/no oracle. And then we're going to clarify all of that in the tarot. So we have number 1, the Rider. And 000, I am a creator. You are one with the Creator, and there are no limits to what you can achieve. You have the ability to create something new and incredible in your lifetime here on Earth. So whatever this is something very new to you, because we have the number 1 and then 000. So it's kind of like you're not even aware of what you're about to become or do or create here, pile 7. It's nowhere near your mind. Sorry if you can hear that in the background, but you can use that as confirmation here with the Rider. But you are not aware of what you're about to create. I don't think it's even in your mind right now, but I feel like the universe is kind of trying to let you know something here. Maybe the question you're about to ask, or the question at hand, has something to do with this. And again, there's something here about a lack of awareness, but you're about to be made aware, is what I'm hearing. So let's go ahead and answer your question more directly. There's also something here about starting something new, which that could be what you're asking about. We have attune to your needs. I'm going to get another one. Unveil your truth. Yeah, I was hearing that very strongly with unveil your truth, because I had a song stuck in my head. Who is it by? I don't even know. It's in Spanish, but I'm roughly translating what I keep hearing. It's better to speak and say the truth. We're going to tell each other the truth. Whatever this is, you have to tell. Well, one, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with people. You have to be honest with everybody. And I feel like this has to do with something that you need. You have certain needs that are needing to be met, and you have to be honest about them, or you have to be honest about the way you're going to go get these needs met, if that makes any sense. It's kind of weird. But there's something here about the truth that needs to come out. Maybe you're asking whether you should tell somebody the truth or not, or like some sort of truth, like if you should confess to somebody about something, or if you should bring up something that you know may be received interestingly. So I feel like, yes, if that is the case, if you need to unveil the truth, go ahead and do so, because you're about to start something new. Whatever this is, you have to speak the truth before it could commence. For some of you, I'm getting some sort of nervous energy as well with attune to your needs. Maybe you're not aware that you are, this could be medical, or this could be like a mental health situation. Again, sorry if you hear that in the background. You could just take that as confirmation. For whatever reason, the loud vehicles decided to start up on your pile. But with attuned to your needs, I feel like you need to really listen to your body and see what it needs, whether it's something that is going on within your mind, within your actual body, or anything else. Maybe the environment is kind of affecting this. Attune to the needs of your body. Maybe for some of you, you have to be honest about what your body needs as well, which is interesting. Let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. This pile got a little bit serious because I think like some of you don't even understand just how you're about to embark on something new. Like maybe you didn't think there was a new beginning here, or maybe you did, but you're not yet aware. We have external validation. It wanted to come out reversed. I think you have to, well, one, not care so much about external validation here, because part of the reason you've been keeping whatever this is to yourself is because you were afraid of what everybody else is going to say about this, what everybody else is going to think. You care a little bit too much about what people think. If it's your family, same thing. We have the edge of evolution feels messy. Yeah, attune to your needs because the edge of evolution feels messy. It's not going to be great at first. It's not going to be easy at first, but once you unveiled that truth, like it'll become easier as it goes, because at least you won't be living a lie, or at least you won't be keeping something to yourself. I kind of wonder what this is about. One last card, because I was called to the spark of the hustle. So this could have something to do with a career, something about hustling. Let's get your glyph cards. I feel like you've cared too much for too long about what people have to say about certain things. And what you're not realizing is that you're not meant to be like everybody else. Part of the reason you're going to be so successful is because you do things outside of the norm. Part of the reason you're going to get ahead is because you choose things that not everybody chooses. You do things that not everybody does. And that's what keeps you one step ahead of everybody else. You're doing things differently. And I feel like in the past, you were okay being just like everybody else. Maybe a little bit extra special, maybe a little extra spicy, but, you know, still within the realm of being like everybody else. You're not meant to be pile 7. We have, oh, interesting. We have equal cross harmony. Yeah. Number 2, this could have something to do with a relationship or a partnership. Maybe you're trying to be honest with somebody, or maybe you're trying to be honest to people about somebody you are with. But with equal cross, it's kind of like you're trying to look for balance here. You're trying to make something right. Let's get more cards. We have hope and rainbow. Beautiful. And connection. Yeah, this has to be about a relationship. Either you're asking about somebody, like maybe being honest with somebody, or maybe telling them how you feel, or maybe you are with the rainbow. This could be something like LGBTQ for those of you who are thinking about, you know, coming out of the closet. I know that's a select few, if that's even a thing anymore. I feel like people don't really do that anymore. They did in my generation, when my generation was younger. But even then, I feel like a lot of you have to be honest about what it is that you want. Even with rainbow, with hope, I feel like a lot of you have a hope for a better future with somebody, or the hope that something can flourish here. Because I'm kind of seeing, for a lot of you, you're not aware if you are in a partnership, or if this is about a partnership, you're about to create some pretty incredible things with this person, whether it's within the family you two will create, whatever that means to you, or whether it's that you are going to... there's something important about your partnership, that's for sure, regardless of whether you are in one right now or not. It's kind of interesting because it's coming to the forefront very strongly. I'm getting a little bit strongly that some of you are wondering whether you should either, 1, tell somebody how you feel about them, 2, if you already are with somebody, tell your family about them, introduce them to them, or maybe your friends. I feel like there's like a disconnect here about the things that you love versus the person that you, well, the person being the things that you love, and like what people expect from you from society, regardless of what it is that makes this person different. Maybe some of you just weren't expecting to ever be with somebody, and you just have some sort of guilt in having a relationship. I know that sounds weird, but I know people who are like that. You know, I know people who are in relationships for a long time, maybe multiple relationships, and they never introduce them to their parents. Maybe that's a whole thing. But like some people would never introduce somebody to their family unless they knew for sure they were going to get married. It's like that kind of energy I'm getting. But for some of you, this is a little bit more than that. This is a little bit more, what's the back of the deck? Lotus, purity, number 33. So I guess you're questioning your purity, but the truth is that you don't realize that this is about to create something different, something new. Um, for those of you already in a connection, if you're, I mean, by all means, do be honest with your partner, regardless of whether this ends up being a yes or no. I don't think that's relevant. What's relevant here is that is one, are you being honest with yourself? Two, are you being honest with those you love? And three, those who you don't love, who you feel the need to tell people about this, doesn't matter whether they approve or not. So I'm getting that rather strongly. It's interesting that this ended up being one about relationships for sure, with connection here. It could also be that you care a lot about what somebody may think here about somebody specific, which is very interesting. But regardless, whatever is meant to come out of either being with this person or while you are with this person, it's going to create something very pivotal in your life. I feel like you're meant to create something rather amazing. So let's go ahead and move on to the tarot, because I want to get a little bit more in depth into this. But don't worry so much about what people may think. What matters is what you think. And maybe that's easier said than done. And that said, I mean, it's okay if you want to, you know, include your person in your group of friends, circle of friends, your family, whatever the case may be. I know some people identify very strongly with their friend group. For those of you who have like house, your son in the 11th house, these would be my people who they just, you know, they need their tribe, they need their people, they identify with the group that they surround themselves with. But just make sure that, I feel like whoever we're talking about, they make you want to be an individual. They bring you out of your shell a little bit, which is interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and get your cards. So I'm going to pick 3 cards, and if they're all upright, it means, if most of them are upright, it means yes, and if most of them are downright, it's a no. And if we have anything differently, if I'm channeling something differently, I will let you know about that. Because I think it was the last pile or a pile before that. Even though it was a yes in the oracles, it was like a no in the tarot, but there was a reason why. It was very conditional. So let's see what we have for you. We have Temperance, Healing. We also have 10 of Wands. This is like weighing on your mind a little bit more than you want to let people know. Or a little bit more than you're willing to admit, pile 7. Strength. So it's a yes. It's a yes for sure. Like I said, something about truth and honesty is very important here, but also you're going to heal once you reveal your truth. When we speak our truths, we become stronger. I forget who it was that said that whenever we speak our truths, like our bodies just become stronger. But when we speak lies, or when we speak not so confidently, like our bodies become weaker. This is part of the reason we're able to, like if you ever do, what's it called? Muscle testing. Why whenever we say like something that is not true, then like our body will get weaker. And when something is true, it will become stronger. So muscle testing, I do it from time to time. I have to be very aligned for it though, because my body has its own thing going on. Like I said, this has been weighing on your mind a lot more, but you're also meant to overcome something here. In speaking your truth, you will heal. In speaking your truth, you will become stronger. Strength is literally here. So, yeah, I feel like your question has to do with being honest. And yes, be honest. Even if it hurts, even if people don't want to hear it, even if for some of you, and this isn't everybody, some of you were raised to not say the truth because it didn't sound right, or it didn't sound nice, or it would upset somebody. Forget that shit. Like, I'm sorry, I do not like, and don't get me wrong, I know that you're supposed to do things in a tactful way, and that there are times to say certain things, but I do not believe in keeping certain things. Like, I don't believe in being dishonest. I don't believe in keeping certain truths from being out there. I'm so, like, my family sees me as a black sheep for this very thing, and I don't care. Because when you're not saying your truth, you're not living a healthy life. I don't care what people say. That said, there might be some ways that you can express this in a better way than others. Like, maybe you might have this as a one-on-one kind of conversation with somebody, as opposed to just, putting it all out there for the world to know. There's just ways of going about this, but yeah, say your truth, pile 7. We've got the King of Cups. This is about how you feel. You have not been honest about how you feel, either about somebody or about I feel like for a lot of you, emotional truth has been something difficult because, again, this goes back to childhood. You would feel things and you would say it out loud, but then either your parents or the adults around you or whomever would say, no, that's not how you feel. How can you? And that annoys me. Like, just knowing that annoys me. It's like, how can somebody tell you how you're feeling? That's not up to them. That's up to you. So I feel like that kind of mentality has impacted you to this day about how you feel about certain things. It's like deep down in your heart or in your mind or wherever in your psyche, you think back to, oh, what would my dad say about this? What would my mom say about this? Is this aligning with whatever they want? It doesn't matter. Your life is yours, not theirs. And even though, yes, maybe you should care a little bit about your parents if they mean that much to you, I feel like you're not being honest with yourself and you have to be honest to them. And I kind of get it. I get the crisis here. I understand why it's difficult, but you have to be honest to yourself. Let's get more cards. We have the Six of Pentacles. I feel like for a lot of you, life has not been going the way you expected it to. Maybe this is why you think that this is not going to be something easy, but you'd be surprised at how receptive people are to this truth you want to say. I feel like you'll be surprised at how, and this is honest, you know, like I've seen it, where if you're just honest with people, they're more likely to act the way they're meant to. It's like people know that when you're honest, that, you know, they understand honesty. Subconsciously, people understand honesty as opposed to a lie. People do not react well to lies because, and at least this is how I felt growing up. I always wondered, it's like, how dumb do you think I am that I cannot see through your lie? But that was me when I was young and my intuition was like, you know, all over the place. And I didn't understand that not everybody would buy into that. But it's kind of like, why lie? Unless there's a really good reason to. And I'm not talking about, you know, cute little lies like a surprise or, you know, fun surprises are okay lies because they end up with a better result in the end. You know, it's for something good. We're not talking about that here, though. Here, we're talking about something deep. We're talking about pleasing the people around you. We're talking about making everybody around you happy. Maybe you really cared a little bit too much about your father's expectations of you because the King of Cups is here. And that is essentially the father card. So it's like you would hide your feelings just to appease your family, maybe a mother, you know, to appease your parents or to appease whomever. If it's not mother or father, it could be like grandparent. Maybe that's what your parents would tell you. It's like, oh, what would your grandmother say? What would your grandfather say? Especially when they try to throw that to you whenever they're already deceased. It's like, well, one, are you speaking with them in their afterlife? I'm probably not, because if they would, and I say this as somebody who does speak to people in the afterlife, a lot of them, they prefer that you just be happy, that you do the things you know you're meant to do to make you happy and to better everybody around you. Doesn't matter what kind of person they were in their living life. Once they pass, they become more understanding of what the meaning of life is, and they know it wasn't the suffering that they may have chosen or chosen for other people in their, you know, in their life they were living. So I'm here to tell you, don't let anybody tell you what somebody else thinks. Like, it's not about them. Like, it's all about you. What makes you happy, pile 7? I'm gonna get more cards. And then for some of you, I feel like there's something about conditional love, because I'm looking at the Six of Pentacles. Maybe some of you are going to lose something. Like, I know some people do this, like they might lose an inheritance because they decided to be this, and that, or they decided to do something very different. And because it doesn't fall in line with their plans, suddenly they're not accepted by the family, which is ridiculous. I do not understand why people are that way. Also, my voice has been very quiet in this. I'm trying to yell and I can't. So there's something here about the throat chakra. Like, you were meant to keep this very hush-hush for whatever reason, because I'm trying to be louder and I can't. Okay, we have the Nine of Swords. You're going to get to a point where you can't take it anymore. All right, 2 more. Knight of Pentacles, the Hermit. And I feel like for some of you, your best option will be to slowly leave hints of your truth. Will be to slowly, like, introduce the idea. Like, maybe with each conversation, you get closer and closer to it. So maybe you're taking your time there. I'm also hearing that eventually you will probably fall off from if anyone doesn't accept you, you will eventually off from that, and you won't care because you know you're on your way to something better. Because look how this, I love how this Knight of Pentacles looks like he's heading in this direction with the Hermit. It's like he knows he's on his way to something different. This is something about your soul's growth, your soul's journey that you're meant to do regardless, pile 7. So I think telling your truth, yes, do that. It will alleviate a lot of your anxieties, believe it or not, especially if you've been having a lot of bad dreams, or just dreams that have been very inconvenient, or even intrusive thoughts. A lot of you've been having intrusive thoughts and it's been bothering you, or it's been making you a little shaky. For some of you, you've been off your game is what I'm hearing. And the way I see this is like, and I'll know people who do this, they're really good at doing something, but some days they'll just have an off day, and I know it will have something to do with how they're feeling, or a particular thought form, or some sort of energy in their way that, you know, some energy that's intruding on them. And only because I know how to read people really well in this case. So for a lot of you, you will alleviate that very thing that was getting in the way of you going after what you want. Back of the deck. Yeah, the Two of Wands. A lot of you, you're looking towards your future. You're saying you're trying to make some sort of peace with your past, and you're looking toward the future because you know that once you pass through this, you can't go back. I'm being shown, for those of you who have seen Wicked, it's like after Elphaba finds out the truth in the Emerald City, you know, she can't go back. What's that thing she sings? But I don't want it. I can't want it anymore. You know, it's being the thing that everybody else expected of you. You can't do that anymore. You're going forward with something else. And this is beautiful because this is what you're meant to do. You don't even understand the journey you're about to embark on, pile 7. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is your own personal journey, your own soul's growth. And for a lot of you, you're also meant to create something again with somebody. It could be new friends, it could be a new social circle, it could be a new group of people, it could be a new love partner, whatever the case may be. But you are meant to embrace that because it's going to show you a different way of life. It's going to show you a much better way of life. And the people you're going to tell this, they're not going to understand, but it doesn't matter. It's not their story. This is yours. And if they truly love you, they'll support you. And it's unfortunate some people really do see love as conditional. Some people truly see love as conditional, and that's unfair. But you're not meant for that. People who see love as conditional don't really know what love is, and I hate to be the bearer of that particular news, but that's what I'm hearing. That's what you need to understand and know. And maybe they do love you, but again, maybe their sense of love is warped. I actually had that in a collective reading not too long ago, where I was asking about several set of people, and I was just, you know, tapped in and trying to channel energy and trying to channel divine intuition, divine guidance. And I asked, does, you know, this person love me? Does this person love me? For one of them, the most interesting thing I heard was, if they understood what love was, they would. I feel like there's something similar here with the people you're going to tell that you already know they're probably not going to react positively to it. And you're going to tell them the truth. And I'm just hearing bless them, because maybe one day they'll truly understand what love is. And maybe through you telling your truth, they will learn. Well, one, a lot of them will accept you. I need you to understand that. I think what you're worried about are the people who won't. Like, maybe if we're talking about a set of parents, maybe your mom will accept you, but you know your father won't. You know, it's that kind of situation. So your mother will accept you, and maybe one day your father will turn around. But whatever the case may be. What else do we need to tell pile 7? Yeah, like I said, you're doing this slowly. You're doing this in your own time. I'm hearing the Knight of Pentacles here is your own comfortable pacing, because I think the Knight of Pentacles doesn't like to be displayed as the slow one, even though he is the slower one, because he will take his time to do things right. But it could also be seen as your own personal timing, your own personal pacing, in conjunction with divine timing here. So yeah, you will know things in your own way. You will figure this out. For a lot of you, it's not this deep, but for the people who it is this deep, you know, send them love. They needed to hear this. But this is where I leave it, pile 7. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I am sending you so much love, clarity, and peace. If you feel like doing so, you can check out my other, my shorter yes/no videos that I have out. I will link them in the description below. And if you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you in the next reading. Take care.